Hey everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's time for Rockin Robbie Live. How is everybody doing out there tonight? I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Tonight we'll be talking about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more here on the channel Pop Culture Philosophers. How is everybody doing? Once you get in here, let me know that you're here. Your questions, your conversation, your comments, all your thoughts, all that stuff. That's what drives this program and keeps it going. We always have a ball here. I'm excited to be here. Had a fantastic weekend. Yankees are dominating. I believe they're up right now. I couldn't get my tablet to work with my ESPN app, so please, y'all, I know you will, keep me up on what's going on in the Yankees game if you could. Against the Red Sox. We're 6-1, aiming for 7-1. Very excited, very excited. Been watching a little bit of basketball. That's an interesting thing to do, but it seems like they've got it all on point. Did watch my Lakers lose last night, but whatever. Made up for all of that today because me and the PCP crew, excitable we are, went and saw Jurassic Park. We rented out a theater strictly for the PCP crew. Me, John, Jelani, Justin, Brooks, a bunch of us all got together and watched Jurassic Park today in a theater all by ourselves, and it was super, super cool. So how is everybody doing? Hope y'all are doing fine. Let's see who's all in here right now. C3, what's up, my man? What's up, Ruben? Herminio says 3-run homer from Judge. That's right, 3-1. Yanks up in the third. 3-2, that is. Hell yeah. Dope, dope. What's up, Comic Book Therapy? What's up, Ricky? What's up, Nick? What's up, God Tank? What's up, Derek? Comic Crazy. Fable, my man. Bruce, how goes it? Kitten Puke, what's up? Long time no see. Good to see you here. Heck yeah. Looking good, looking good. I do want to point out a couple things. First of all, you should follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. It's always a fun time there. We got a PCP Army movie poll going on right now, John Hughes edition. Right now, it's like Weird Science and Ferris Bueller's Day Off are like neck and neck. But the winner of that we'll be reviewing live on the channel on Friday night, August 14th. Reggie just popped up. What's up, my man? How you doing? You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can check out podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com, and you can support the show. You're already supporting the show by watching this live stream, but you can support the show at patreon.com/PCP if you want to as well, like these fine people right here. So thank you guys for being here. We have an exciting show coming up tonight. An exciting show. We don't have a Marvel in the 90s, but we do have a top 5, and we do got some Horror Fest announcements coming up, so very, very cool. Mikey, what's up? Long time no see, finally back after a COVID adventure. Uh-oh. Glad to see you back. 100% glad to see you back. My alert is slow as heck. It happens. It happens. Seems like I'm having some encoding problems. I've been dealing with some computer issues over the last few weeks. So if you experience any buffering or anything, just bear with us. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a computer guy. But we're going to have a good show tonight. And we're going to kick it off with the first 6. We've been going through the Marvel Universe Series 1 trading cards, so let's continue. This trading card set was so badass, they had trading cards for vehicles. That's right. So the first one we're showing off is Captain America's motorcycle. Dope, dope, dope. Did you know Captain America first rode on a motorcycle overseas during World War II? There you go. Didn't know that. Silver Surfer. There's the Silver Surfer card. Very cool. There's Human Torch. Good old Johnny Storm. Human Torch. Doctor Strange. La, 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 la. Oh, Doctor Strange right there. Some Havoc. Wreaking Havoc. It's Havoc. And the final one for the final 6. Colossus. So there you go. First 6, done. Bam. So we'll be taking a look at what's coming up in comic shops this week. We'll be taking a look at our favorite books of last week. We'll be doing a top 5. We'll do some Horror Fest announcements. Lots of other cool things. Yep, still having these encoding problems I'm seeing. Yep. Oh, man, that's great. That's grand. It's grand and it's fantastic, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to slow us down. We'll keep going. Please do hit that like button if you haven't already. The likes really help us out here at Pop Culture Philosophers, especially during live streams. So lets everybody know that it's the jivinest place to be is here. Yeah, I know it's super choppy. I'm having encoding problems. There's nothing I can do about it from this point forward, unfortunately. Nothing I can do about it. Except for stop streaming. But yep, I'm aware that we're having some encoding problems. And that's always a joy. Always a joy. Always. Anyway, I'm not going to try to let it... It's distracting the hell out of me right now, to be honest with you. Yep, majorly. So what's up? What's good with everybody? How are you doing? What y'all want to chat about? I think you can still hear me at least, probably, right? What's up, Easy Reader? Yep. Pop. Yeah, I like the Batmobiles back here, too. They're nice. Good right now. It's not going to last forever, though. Oh, man, look at that. That is crazy. What is going on here? Let me see. Let's see if there's anything I think I can do. All right. First of all, as long as we can hear you, we're all good gravy. I appreciate that. First of all, the first thing we're going to do is talk about our favorite books of last week. Bruce, I can't just go audio only for a while. You don't understand the way the program works. Like once we're going, it goes until I either stop streaming. I mean, we can't just end video and then go audio only. It just can't do that. Yeah, Ghost Rider got canceled. That's no surprise. It's not a big selling book. Especially in these days, they're going to be really, really, really hesitant to keep certain things going. Putting together a second run of TMNT. A second run of the IDW stuff or the original stuff? The Mirage stuff. Kill Lock was great. Man, I'm just having encoding problems out the yazoo. Check. Y'all still see me? Okay. What's up, Kirby? Right now we're dealing with some issues with the encoding processes or whatever the hell on my computer. We're just going to roll and we'll see what happens. Anyway, I know you like Empire, but dang, I almost dropped during the last issue. Just don't care. Anybody else feel the same? I don't like Empire. Where'd you get that idea? I liked the first issue, but if you check out my review of 2 and 3 and some of the tie-ins, no, I'm not digging it whatsoever. And I went on a big tirade a few weeks ago about the idea of basically placeholder events. Like they're just putting events in there just to put them in there, and it kind of pisses me off. All right, everybody, let's talk about it. What was your favorite book last week? What was your pick of the week? What was your pick of the week? I had to go grab mine because I didn't have mine near me. This was my pick of the week. It was Pulp. The original hardcover graphic novel from Image Comics. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. Absolutely loved this book. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Great artwork. Incredibly cool story. Great writing. Great dialogue. Great pacing. Great coloring. I loved everything about this damn book. Show you a few of the pages. So it's kind of Western, kind of pulpy. The idea is this dude used to be an Old West bandit in the late 1800s. Now it's 1939. He's an old man, but he's struggling to make ends meet. He's kind of a low-paid writer at this point, and he decides maybe I should go back into a life of crime. But of course, it doesn't quite go the way he plans it to. But I really enjoyed that one. So what was your favorite book last week? I know that we are all displeased with Empire, but what was your favorite book last week? Let's see here. That Bleed Them Dry was cool, yeah. It was very, very cool. I liked it. Fable says Killlock was great. What an amazing ending for Killlock. Really, really cool stuff. Empire blows. I'm getting the core Empire series. Could have been a crossover just between FF and Avengers. Yeah, could have been. Maybe it should have been. My pick of the week was Sleeping Beauties. Interesting. I didn't read issue number 2. I really didn't like issue number 1, so maybe I'll have to check it back out. We have the book here, and I've never read that either. Stephen King, Owen King. Ricky says, I also read that Robin Hood Justice. I enjoyed it. That's the Zenoscope one, right? Pulp was great, says Jay. Zen Soundwave says Cable number 2. Favorite book of the week. That was actually a pretty good book, too. Arminio says, my pick of the week was Empire. Just kidding, just kidding. Fable with Killlock. Yeah, Killlock was great. Yeah, I'm not a big Empire fan, but I am a death metal fan, and I have had the pleasure of already reading this week's DC books. And that one-shot's pretty nifty. I really, really liked it. A bunch of basically secret origins for some of the evil Dark Knights, and a really nice spotlight on the Darkest Knight at the very beginning. That Texas Blood issue number 2, says Jeff. Mikey says, I'm a bit embarrassed to say it, but my biggest joy last week was that 25th anniversary Witchblade reprint. Don't be ashamed of it. It's all good. I picked one up myself. But I don't have an original Witchblade number 1. I was never really a Witchblade fan. There were many times where I tried to get into it when Ron Mars was on it, when Paul Jenkins was on it, towards the beginning. It just never appealed to me. I did like the darkness when it first started out, though. Weaponized nostalgia with good back matter. Jeff says Grit has potential. I agree. Grit was pretty solid. I really, really liked it. Reverse Amoeba says loved Hellblazer. Arminio says my real pick of the week was Mercy number 4. It was freaky. Might have to go back and check that out. I read the first one and it just didn't do much for me, so I dropped out of it, but you never know. Sometimes when you revisit things, it comes across a little bit differently. Hey, Sleepy Reader, what's up? Says Pulp is the pick of the week, with Killlock being a close number 2. I had Killlock at number 3. I Bleed Them Dry at number 2. Those are my favorite. Those were my top 3 favorite books. Godtank says Sleeping Beauties had a really creepy second issue. I also read It Eats What Feeds It by Scout Comics. That was absolutely awesome. I liked that one. That was a good one. I got a copy of 2, but I haven't read it yet. Yeah, the artwork in Grit was dope. The story is pretty fun, too. Eric, no problems. No problems. You're always here right on time. Just got here. Sorry I'm late. Didn't read Pulp yet. My pick of the week was the TV show Motherland Fort Salem. Binge watched it. Have you seen it? Nope. Don't even know what you're talking about there. I've been spending my week. I was watching some Bourne movies. We watched New Jack City. And then the last couple nights I've been watching Umbrella Academy. I'm only 3 episodes in. Bruce says Rogue Planet number 3 by Cullen Bunn. That book's got a really cool alien type vibe to it. I'm liking it. Alien meets The Thing, almost in a way. But that's cool. Perry, what's up, my man? Didn't really enjoy anything from this week. I also picked up a Witchblade. Brian says I started collecting Witchblade and The Darkness. That was close to when I stopped collecting originally. Kirby says, I need to get a copy of Pulp. That Texas Blood 2 would probably be my choice. Still need to catch up with last week's releases. Derek says, I'm a Superboy Prime fan. Last appearance with Shazam. Is he death metal or popping up in anything else? I don't know. With him being in that Shazam book, I think that it seems like Jeff Johns had some plans for them, but don't know if that necessarily is going to pan out now. We'll see what happens. The Darkness has 2 amazing video game adaptations that really got me back into it. All right, Mikey. Nick says, I didn't read many books that came out last week, but over the last week I read Alienated and Decorum. Thanks for suggesting those. Also, Hotel was great. Yeah, those are great books. Alienated and Decorum right now are making strong cases for Book of the Year, especially Alienated. I hope everybody checked out our stream on Friday night on Everything Comics. Me, Bueller, Bob, and Dylan talking. Oh, and Jim. Yeah, Jim Mint was there too. Can't forget him. All talking about our favorite comic books of the month. Very cool. This month, at the end of August, it will be here on my channel. Motherland Fort Salem is pretty dope, says Perry. Might have to check it out sometime. Once again, everybody hit that thumbs up button. We're talking about our favorite comic books of last week. Since you read DC books early this week, describe Batman 96 in one word. Cool. Also read Blind Spot on the Side. Good read. Y'all see that Transformers on Netflix? No, I'm totally dived in on Umbrella Academy, but I've heard some interesting things. We talked about it a little bit at the end of the stream Friday night when we were talking about New Jack City. After the New Jack City talk. Obviously, Transformers has nothing to do with New Jack City. Time Changer says, I like those Batmobiles in the back just for that. I'm going to leave you a like. Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Likes really help us out, especially in the middle of the chat, in the middle of the stream that is glitching and buffering and choppy. Robbie, tell me that you have seen Unacknowledged on Netflix. Amazing game-changing doc in UFOs. Absolutely, Jeff. That's one of my favorite recent documentaries about the UFO phenomenon. And we referenced it in the last... briefly referenced it in the last Teen Dog Shades night that we did last week. What is hot this weekend? I mean, this Wednesday? Who knows? Who knows? We'll know that when the spec lists come out. It seems like everybody just reads these spec lists and then they come into the shop and they go crazy for it. Obviously, we already know the death metal Dark Knight's Rising thing is super, super hot. That thing's already selling online for like $25. G1, Old Jack City. G2, New Jack City. I like that. Jay Little said, Ghost in L.A., Killock, That Texas Blood. Those are all 3 really great books. I'm loving them. Awaiting Deceased, Dead Planet number 2 this week. Yeah, Jay, it was good. Has a really good ending, too. I think you'll be pleased. Sleepy Reader says, for older comics reading, I'm currently dipping into my Tomb of Dracula omnibus. Some Gene Colan magic in the pages of that. Absolutely. Tomb of Dracula is one of my favorite books. Not only is it where we first got Blade, but it's a great comic book Dracula, and I love it. And I love all the connections it has to the original work. That could be IDW's next big crossover. Transformers, New Jack City. Yeah, maybe if the Transformers My Little Pony one goes really well, they can do that. Bats at it again. Yanks tie at 5-5. So now we're in a tie game, 5-5, Yankees Red Sox. Okay. That Texas Blood is definitely a slow burn, yes. Seems to be the case. Basically 2 issues in, and it's barely gotten started. But I think it's going to have cool, dark humor in it. It's going to have some great, like, cinescope type scenes. And I think it's going to have some supernatural elements as well. Yeah, how did a ton of people already get the Dark Knight's book? I think I saw that a lot of people were already getting these things. What it is UCS has been sending, and Lunar even, has been sending the DC books because they go on sale on Tuesday. We've been getting ours on Saturday, and we usually let them sit there until Monday. This week, though, we opened them up, and so I grabbed them and I got to read them. But knowing that other people are getting them, that means some shops are not honoring the release date. And that can definitely hurt them in the long run, for sure. But most people that get their comics a few days early, they're not going to necessarily tattle on them. Vlad Dracul is a miniseries, 3 issues, 3 extra-sized issues. The other thing, too, is a lot of people don't actually have the Dark Knight's book yet. They've just put it online selling pre-orders. Liam says, Empire was actually okay. Some of the tie-ins are actually really, really fun. The only ones I've really been liking so far are the X-Men ones, and that's mostly because they're just X-Men books. Alexander, what's up? Did you watch the Umbrella Academy Season 2? And if yes, what did you think? I've only watched the first 3 episodes so far, and I'm loving it. One of these days, Robbie, on a Shades night, going to get you to explain your blade pitch. Sorry, Mikey's not going to happen. I'm keeping that one close to the vest. I don't want any of it getting out. I haven't even told any of my homies, like, what my plans are. But you can try, especially knee-deep into a Teen Dog Shades night. You can always try. X-Men tie-in was tight. Vlad's brother gets introduced in issue 2, Raul. Those death metal covers are fire, though. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, they are. I'm really disappointed that the Legends of the Dark Knight one is not foil. It's not a foil cover. It's not one of the metal covers. That kind of bothers me. Just a wee bit. Just a smidgen. Not that big of a deal, but it just bothers me just a wee little bit. Nick says, we just finished Umbrella Academy Season 1 last night. Looking forward to Season 2. Hell yeah. Marvel already announced the Empire Omnibus coming out next year. I wonder if they're going to have some of the stuff that didn't get released, but I think they stopped work on that, so. What about with the $10,000 super chat? That might work, because I think that might be more money than I would ever make writing a damn Blade series. I'll start saving, all right. Love the Plants vs. Zombies action in the Empire and X-Men. Yeah, that's so funny. I like it. Hickman's got a good sense of humor, so he's able to have fun with it, right? It Eats What Feeds It. It was good and has gone to second print. Hell yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Stuff not released. Because, like, Ron B was going to be doing that Thor book, and that got canned. I know, because, you know, Empire's now basically a weekly book. It was meant to be spread throughout the whole spring and into the summer. And now they're just shoving it all in as quickly as possible. Liam says, dude, that chrome cover. The chrome covers is what got me into death metal. Overall, the series is pretty fun so far. Go Wonder Woman. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Some big, big things have been happening. Big, wild, crazy, rambunctious, extraordinarily awesome things that I just love. It's obviously not for everybody, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Jeff says, I am still waiting for a giant Eddie from Iron Maiden to pop out of the pages of death metal's villain. Run to the hills. Dark Knight Death Metal Legend of the Dark Knights has run to second print. Absolutely has. Very smart of DC to do that, because when the hype started building on this, and I think it's all about the Robin King, and I can confirm the Robin King is in it, and you even get his origin, and it's interesting. It's a really cool story, but it was not the coolest story in the run. I mean, in that whole issue. Issue's big. It's like $5.99. It's got a lot to it. Man, that variant, that incentive, the 1 in 25, is ridiculously priced right now. But yeah, once that stuff started getting hyped up and built up, everybody gets on there and orders up as many more as they can, and then they sell out like that. And DC's not printing too much above what the initial orders are right now. And they haven't really been overprinting a lot of books since the mid-90s when we had the collapse, which was in part due to the speculator boom collapsing on itself. That's why I'm always wary about the speculator stuff. It's not like I'm hating people for being speculators. That's cool. If I have a book that starts going up in price, that's awesome. You sell it, you make some extra money, you funnel it back into the hobby. That's super, super cool. But I've seen the speculator boom, and I've seen it collapse, and I've seen what it did to the industry. And that's why I get hesitant about the speculator culture in the industry today. Because it's not really what grows the industry. It's nice for Marvel or DC to say, oh, we sold out of this book and blah, blah, blah. And it's nice for people to buy a book and sell it and flip it for more money. That's always cool. But it's not necessarily good for the industry. What actually makes the getting people into reading comic books and them liking those comic books and then coming out and continuing to buy more and more comic books. Am I frozen? Yep. There we are. We're back. Woohoo. Could y'all still hear me during all that? If so, I'm just going to keep talking. My computer is wiggy on me tonight. We may not be going 3 hours tonight. Maybe that's the problem. It's too many damn 3-hour long streams, live streams. They're like, damn, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Let's see. Do you know if the colored Walking Dead that's coming soon, will it be every issue? Do you know what the release frequency will be on those? I think in the first couple, it's at least the first two, I think, are in the first month. I think. And I'm sure that as long as it's selling, they'll keep it up. But remember, they did Walking Dead Weekly, where they reprinted them weekly, and then they only made it so far. Yep. We can hear your voice, but the cam is frozen. Yeah, it was totally frozen on me. This is just being... It's like they're like all trying to get me to go to StreamYard completely for the live streams, but there's so much more I can do on this program, but not when it's like this. Not when it's having these issues all the time. I'll figure it out. I'll do some intense research this week and see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Yep. It distracts me. It distracts me when it's messing up this much. They only printed 500, which are sold out, being sold for 200 on eBay right now. What are we talking about? Are you talking about Razor Blades? Yeah, you're not going to be able to find that Razor Blades book right now. The best thing to do is just to get it digitally. You can pay what you want for it. The latest with Black Hammer is this. They're in the middle of that Skull Digger and Skeleton Boy book, and then I don't know what's coming after that, but Dark Horse has been really, really slow with getting back on schedule. It is the aliens. It is the aliens. Man, it is really, really glitchy today. Everything was fine before we started going. Seriously, that's crazy. Rob, did you pick up any Donald Who Laughs? I don't even know what we're talking about. The bots have become aware. We speak too much truth here on this channel. They're trying to shut us down. Oh, as long as you can still hear me, that's fine. That's really... Who cares about watching me? Go through all this trouble. Nobody cares. Dark Horse says, Bruce says a bold declaration. He says Dark Horse probably out of business by the end of the year. Okay, but see, here's the thing. Not every company is Marvel or DC. They couldn't just ride through like 4 months of not being paid by Diamond and be fine. Like Dark Horse, IDW, a few others, they had a lot more trouble with getting back on track. Marvel will buy the rest of Dark Horse. It's not really too much I think they'll want from Dark Horse. That's actually Dark Horse properties. A lot of that stuff that sells really well is creator-owned. Like Hellboy, Umbrella Academy. But they're having some trouble getting back going. They got one book out this week. It's the original screenplay adaptation of Alien. So that sounds really cool. I'm very excited to check that one out. But yeah, Dark Horse is, it's going to take them a bit. Yeah, Conan's gone, Alien's gone, Predator's gone, Buffy's gone, Firefly's gone. Yep. That's why they're trying to push out some Umbrella Academy. IDW's got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Apparently, when the shutdown happened, they were one of the ones struggling the most. Black Hammer is great, but if Dark Horse, if Dark Horse goes under, it's not going to affect Black Hammer or Hellboy or anything like that. They'll just move somewhere else. Those are creator-owned books. The creator of My Little Pony will purchase Dark Horse and change the logo. I'm looking forward to the Dark Knight's guidebook as well. It's going to have some cool stories in it. Well, Jeff is not quite a Teen Dog Shades night tonight, but yeah, I'm aware of all that. All right. Is there something else I can do? All right. Man, this is depressing. What is? The conversation? The encoding errors? The Yankees game? What about G.I. Joe on IDW? Yeah, G.I. Joe's on IDW. Here's the problem with IDW is they have to pay to publish G.I. Joe. They have to pay license fees, right? So IDW's like the licensing kings, And so that really kind of, I think, hurt them in the long run. They put a hold on G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, TMNT, two of their biggest franchises right now, at a certain point, they halted production on them. And so we'll see what happens. I really like the Berger books imprint from Dark Horse. It'd be a shame for that to stop. Yeah, it would be. But I think Dark Horse, they just got to... I don't know any word on the street or anything about them shutting down. Same with IDW. I just know that they're struggling just a little bit. Yep, Joker War Part 2 is this week, and it's pretty exciting. I thought it was a cool issue. Ever since Dark Horse lost Star Wars, it's been downhill. Even towards the end of that, even when they had it, they weren't really selling very well for them. Nick, I'm totally reading Firepower. I'm loving it, loving it. Are you reading Firepower? I have the trade and the free comic book day issue, but I haven't really heard much about them. I think the next issue comes out this week. Yes, it does. And it was the pick of the week, so I talked about it for sure. We talked about it a little bit on our Best Comics of the Month stream, too, this last week. I hate that Dark Horse is having problems. Yeah, me too. Ice Cream Man this week. Yep. And Image Comics releasing Quarantine Comics in next month. Yes. I'm very, very excited about that. During the shutdown, Ice Cream Man kept publishing some real short stories online called Quarantine Comics. Shaq, Clown Hunter or Punchline? Who do I prefer between the two? Right now, Punchline. Don't know much about Clown Hunter, but if you're asking me if either of them are in the new issue, both of them are in the new issue. I like the recent Wonder Woman. It's pretty good. I thought it was good. Yeah, decent. Marvel, they don't have a Black Label like line, but they do have Max Comics. But they're also not against just putting out books slightly branded Marvel that are for mature audiences. They do that with Jessica Jones. They've done that with Punisher. They've done that with Deadpool at times. Sometimes they put it under the Max imprint, which usually doesn't work so well for them. But we'll see. Robbie, what are your thoughts on the Joker War so far? So far, so good. I'm enjoying it. It's reminiscent of Bane's plot in Dark Knight Rises. Kind of taking all the technology and the weaponry and everything. It was originally intended to be the last Batman Joker story before 5G took over. Now that that's not happening, but it's still this big, epic final battle between the Joker and Batman. That's why it's so big and so much is just coming out all of a sudden. So... but so far, I'm really liking it, especially when Jorge Jimenez is on the artwork. He's on this week's issue, too. I love his artwork so much. It's dynamic. It's got a great flow and sense of energy and movement, and it works for me. It works fantastically. Splendidly, even. Yeah, that Nick's Ice Cream Man cover, the Dr. Seuss one, is dope as hell. That's probably the one I'm going to be picking up, for sure. For sure. Let's go ahead and take a look then at what's coming out this week. Let's go ahead and do it. While the fates allow us. From Dark Horse, we have Alien, the original screenplay, #1. And that's it. From IDW, a shit ton. Crow, Lethe, #3, final issue of that. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, 273. Marvel Action, Avengers #11. Marvel Action Captain Marvel #6. My Little Pony Transformers #1. Narcos #3. Ragnarok Breaking of Helheim #6. Read Only Memories #4. Star Trek Year 5 #13. Star Wars Adventures Clone Wars Battle Tales #3. Usagi Yojimbo #11. That is a heavy release week for IDW. Bueller pointed that out on his video last week. From Dynamite, we have Deja Thoris #7. And that seems to be about it. Oh, and Death of Nancy Drew #3. From Boom Studios, we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer #16, the Lumberjanes Free Comic Book Day issue. The first trade paperback of Ghosted in L.A. gets re-released. Jim Henson's Storyteller Ghosts #4. King of Nowhere #4. And a second printing of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #50. That's from Boom. From some other publishers this week, we have Backtrack #5, Bad Mother #1, a new release from AWA, Disaster Inc. #2, Finger Guns #4. Y'all, if you like finger guns, wait till you read issue #4. Holy cow. Money Shot #7, Rick and Morty presents Bird Person, Sweetheart #3, and from Vault Comics, Vampire the Masquerade #1 with a really nifty foil David Mack cover. Definitely you should be on the lookout for that. With a cover price of $10, but it looks dope. From Image Comics, we have the return of Coffin Bound with issue #5. We have Firepower #1 and #2. So they're putting out a version of the free comic book day issue that you can buy. And they're putting out issue #2. The Goddamned Virgin Brides #2. Ice Cream Man #20. Lucy Claire Redemption #5. Let's see here. On the Stump #4. Pretty Violent #8. Protector #5. Reaver #10. Sex Criminals #30. And Undiscovered Country #7. Oh, America, the beautiful land of the free, we close ourselves off. How could it be? We shut down the borders from sea to shining sea. It's an undiscovered country. Know what I'm saying? I never wrote down the the DC books. From Marvel Comics, they're finally printing some of the books that they decided that they weren't going to print. Ant-Man number 4, Avengers of the Wasteland number 4, Black Cat number 12, Captain America number 21, Deadpool number 6, Doctor Strange number 6, Empire number 4, The Beloved Empire. I am liking those Michael Cho variants though, so that's pretty dope. Empire Handbook number 1, Empire X-Men number 2, Fantastic Four number 22, Giant Size X-Men Phantom X number 1. Hopefully this is the issue where we find out what happened with Xavier and Phantom X and all that kind of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy number 5, Lords of Empire Celestial Messiah number 1, one of the tie-ins I am very much looking forward to, because it's written by Alex Packnadel. So that's cool to me. What else? Got some trades. Star Wars number 5. Strike Force number 9. So there you go. From DC, I'll have to actually pull the list up. But I know we're getting Batman 96. We're getting Legends of the Dark Knights Death Metal tie-in one-shot. There's the new issue of, I just read these things, Deceased Dead Planet. Those are all pretty good, though. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, The Dreaming, Waking Hours, a brand new Dreaming series by G. Willow Wilson. That was really nifty. If you like the Dreaming and Sandman stuff, definitely check that out. Young Justice number 17, Justice League number 50, Harley Quinn 75. I didn't see Harley Quinn 75. This is not a current list. Let me go to another page. No Flash this week. There is Strange Adventures number 4, 3, 4. It's a dope issue. All right, I got the list pulled up right here. The official list, not just going by memory. Batman 96. Why is everything messing up on me? Yes, Death Metal, Legends of the Dark Knights. Deceased Dead Planet, Far Sector, number 7. Justice League 50, Strange Adventures number 4. The Dreaming, Waking Hours number 1. Really like that one. Terrifics 29. I didn't see that one come through. Young Justice 17. So that's DC books out this week. I've already read my DC stuff. And I liked it. Out of all the DC stuff, the things I think I liked the most was Strange Adventures number 4. That was an amazing, amazing book. Really good stuff. Ice Cream Man had a cover C but was canceled. Yep. Trying to limit the amount of variants out there in a market that's kind of struggling post-COVID shutdown. You said there was too many Hulks. What is your feeling on there being too many Flashes running around? A lot of people seem to like the book. I seem to like the book. It doesn't bother me that because they don't they focus on Barry. Like, other Wally's there too, and then the lady that was in the Justice League of China or whatever, she's there. But they don't really focus on them too much. They focus on the relationship. But like Wally's not, I mean, the focus isn't on those. In Immortal Hulk, the focus has shifted. And what we were mostly all agreeing on in that live stream that we all did was that we liked it a lot better when it was kind of straight up a horror book. But yeah, too many Hulks. Are there too many Flashes? Maybe, but the focus is still solely on Barry. And that's why I think it's a little bit different. Samuel says, I'm looking forward to Bad Mother. It seems like everything AWA has put out has been pretty good. You know, I got a copy of Bad Mother 1 and 2, and I just haven't read them yet. Not a physical copy. I got digital copies of them. Bruce says, Batman poor and homeless next year. Yeah, maybe. We've seen it before, and he still is Batman. No Man's Land. Liam says, out of 10 of Swords, King in Black and Empire, what's your favorite Marvel event for the year? The one I'm most looking forward to would be King in Black, because I'm loving what Donny Cates is doing with Venom, and I'm excited for Null to finally arrive and see how this story is going to explode and resolve itself. But I am also pumped for 10 of Swords because I have been enjoying the direction of the X-Men books, and I'm ready for them to hit a big moment to like shift gear and get things to be a little bit more intense. American Ronin from AWA is going to be awesome, Jay says. I agree. I think it's going to be pretty dope. Great artist, great writer, great concept. Finger Guns 2 and 3 were great. Yeah, wait till you read 4, Nick. When the book's over, you're going to be like this. Gideon Falls is fire. And yeah, Ant-Man's finally coming out. Man, it's finally cool. You know, it's like they did all this stuff. They're like, oh, we're going to cancel these books and just go digital only. And then maybe they listened to Bueller and other people here on YouTube, and we were like, that's bullshit, y'all. So they're bringing them out. So that's really cool. Comic Book Therapy says 4 issues deep into Snyder's Justice League, and holy shit, yeah. And it just keeps up in that level of cosmic crazy. And the situation just keeps getting more and more dire as it goes. And he does a great job of just continuously building it up and building it up and building it up. And that's one of the reasons why I'm loving the hell out of death metal right now. Agreed, liked Immortal Hulk when it was horror-based. Those Strange Adventure books are sleek. Love the quality. Yeah, they're great stuff. Really cool. Okay, then I trust your opinion, and we'll be picking up Flash and start way back. Yeah, you want to start with the Joshua Williamson run. It's about to be wrapping up, but that run is pretty good. There are moments... in the Negative Flash story, it kind of starts wearing thin a little bit, but then it just picks itself right back up, and it has been the most consistent book DC has had over the last 5 years. Looking forward to Seven Secrets. That's the next Tom Taylor book from Boom Studios. I have read the first 2 issues of it, and I really like it. It's a slow start in issue 1, but issue 2 reveals more stuff, and it's got a really cool setup for what's to come. Dario Agger broke the 20 iPads, coffee cups, lackey heads, etc. in 4 issues. Yeah, that was kind of... It's just been... Mortal Hulk is not consistent to me. Does Finish Line start with 759? I am not sure off the top of my head. I guess whenever this Legion of Zoom story would end. I have no idea. What are issue numbers? I always forget. Where are the Yankees at right now? Are we still 5-5? Flash War was good. Could have been a little bit more epic, but it was good. Flash has also had very, very consistent artwork throughout. Let me make myself a note here. I'll be doing some research this week about improving the encoding on this OBS. I mean, I don't mind StreamYard, I like it, but I like being able to have all my effects and graphics and songs and all that kind of stuff, and it's way more limited at StreamYard, and it only does like 720, and I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's all choppy. It seems like it's been doing a little bit better. So the Sox are up 6-5. Okay. Who's pitching for the Yankees today? Who was pitching? They didn't do a good job, whoever it was. Brian says, now I am super hyped for Department of Truth. I am super hyped for Department of Truth as well. I have one in my inbox, and I have not read it yet. I definitely need to read that so I can let you guys know if it lives up to our hype. If Flash starts off in Rebirth decent, and then it kind of hits a couple of valleys for me, but then it just starts like in the last it just I don't know how long, but it's pretty much from after the Negative Flash story, it just keeps getting better and better, and it gets amped up like crazy. Yeah, a lot of the Empire stuff got dropped off so they wouldn't be overloading shops. Is Transformers My Little Pony worth getting as an investment? I think that depends on what you're trying to invest in, Louie. Paxton, but the defense let him down. Oh man, that's sad to hear. Very sad to hear. All right, y'all just bear with me for a second. I'm going to try something. This may not work, but I'm going to try something. All right, I tried something. We'll just see. How do you get those digital copies to preview? Jay, first of all, I'm a comic book retailer. By working at a comic shop and being the store manager, I get early looks at certain things, trying to entice us to order more, basically. So usually right before FOC or right before the initial orders are due, they'll send us some things, and then I just completely distracted myself. What was I saying? Oh yeah, they send us early looks at things to try to up our, so that, if we like it, we can up our orders. Aside from that, I also get early looks specifically for being a reviewer here on YouTube. We get stuff from Scout, we get stuff from Valiant, we get stuff from SourcePoint, or we were. Those emails have seemed to have slowed down. I haven't got anything in a while from SourcePoint, so maybe I need to get back in touch with them and see what's going on. Vault hooks me up, of course. So yeah, that's how I wind up getting those, because I'm a reviewer and a retailer, and when you're both of those, there you go. It's really hard for me to get Marvel and DC stuff. The stuff I get from them is strictly for retailing purposes, and then I'm not allowed to do advanced reviews on those. So I got to somehow get in touch with the same people that Jim and Bueller have been in touch with at Marvel. So, hey Rob, is your shop online? We don't really have like an online store or anything like that. I think we're on eBay. We're on eBay. I don't think we're on eBay. We are on eBay. I think it's Deep Comics. Is the name on eBay. But we have a Facebook page, and if you're ever looking for something, just send us a list there through a message, and we can try to fulfill it. And the shop is The Deep Comics and Games. Rob, what's your favorite Marvel movie so far? He says, I'm going with Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier's a great pick. Definitely top 5 for me. I asked because I'm watching Infinity War and the stream at the same damn time. Hell yeah, man. Since I made that one little change, I haven't noticed it. I don't want to jinx this, but I haven't noticed any issues since I did that. But probably won't be too far behind. My favorite MCU film right now. My favorite MCU film might be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's definitely between Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming. It's between those. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Winter Soldier's top 5 for me, though, for sure. I'm going to read Friendo, says William. Frendo's a great book. I really like it. Alex Packendale's a good dude, and actually a friend of mine. I can say that now. He's been on the channel, and if you want to check out a really cool conversation with a very intelligent comic book writer, check out the Rockin Robbie Live with Alex Packendale. He was super cool. The only problem is, at his flat or wherever he lives, in the UK, they didn't have the best internet. And if you thought it was choppy here, you should see. He just looks like Max Headroom to me sometimes. He's just like a fuzz of pixels. But you can totally hear him. I love Guardians too, Herminio. You guys know I'm obsessed with Chris Pratt's Star-Lord. I was so obsessed with see Bruce, here's the thing. Taste in movies is subjective. So you can say you like the first one better, and you're right, because you like the first one better. I like the second one better. To me, the second one has more emotional punch to it with the father-son dynamic. But that's just me. I love the music better in part 2. I love the idea that they're already together, so we kind of already have this family camaraderie between the Guardians. And yeah, I think it's just a smidgen better than the first one, but that's just me. I really, really am obsessed with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But I pretty much like all MCU films in some form or another. The ones that I don't like the ones that are the weakest to me are Thor Dark World, Doctor Strange, and to be honest, I think the worst MCU film is Age of Ultron. I hate Age of Ultron. Yanks just tied it up 6-6. Yeah, man, my tablet wasn't working. I mean, it was working, but I couldn't get my ESPN to connect to my right account, and because I was going to have the game here. Could you imagine that? We have all this. I have not had an encoding problem since I made that one little change. Acting in the plot and terrible in 2. If you think so, Bruce, I don't think so. I'm with Herminio. I love them both. But I just... God, and the colors in part 2? Holy cow. Love it. Yeah, what Comic Book Therapy said. What did Comic Book Therapy say? The last issue of Daredevil was great. The art was amazing. Hell yeah, it was. Marco Cicchetto. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And a great issue that's kind of like a... I don't know, what's the right word? It's kind of like a bridge between Act 1 and Act 2 of the Zdarsky run. I mean, Ricky, I don't mind any of the MCU films. I'll watch them all again. But to me, Age of Ultron's it was definitely the most disappointing. I had high hopes for that one. Bruce says Avengers, Iron Man, and Winter Soldiers are the top 3. Those are 3 really good picks. Those are 3 of the best for sure. I think Infinity War is brilliant. Infinity War is incredibly well done. Brian says Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok were probably my favorite. See, the first time I watched Thor Ragnarok, I didn't like it because I wanted a more serious Shakespearean Thor like I got in the first film, and I didn't really like Dark World that much. I feel like it was a complete waste of Christopher Eccleston, who I was so pumped for him to come into this project. Then Thor 3 kind of went in a complete different tonal direction, but the second time I watched it was so much better. In fact, we actually have 2 Thor Ragnarok reviews here on the channel. The first one we did initially, as soon as it came out, we watched it. I gave it a kind of a shitty review. And then we did it again when we did our rewatch of all the Avengers films and all the MCU films leading into Infinity War, and I gave it a much better review. Shaq says, worst MCU film is Captain America 1. Interesting idea. I really like the first Avenger. But I think it's the weakest Cap movie. But I think out of all the franchises that exist within the MCU, the best and most consistent are the Captain America films. I think those 3 Captain America films are better than the 3 Thor films. Like, in total. Right? In total. Like, that's a better trilogy than Iron Man and Thor to me. And even Avengers. And even now it's not a trilogy, it's a quadrilogy. But yeah, I like Civil War. I think it's good. I mean, we got Black Panther and Spidey. It's good stuff. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Like, this shit cracks me up so much. I love it. The opening scene of Guardians 2 with Groot dancing and the music playing and they're just getting their asses kicked. That's just so great. Bruce says Thor 2 and Iron Man 3 are bad. See, I like Iron Man 3. But I go up and down when I revisit them. Like, I used to hate Iron Man 2. Now I actually like Iron Man 2 a lot better than I did. And I loved Iron Man 3. And as I watch it more and more, the less I like it. But that's why I never try to be too firm in my opinions, especially on movies, because it literally can change depending on so many factors. In fact, we were watching, like I said, Jurassic Park earlier today. We rented out an entire movie theater for the excitable PCP crew. It was so much fun. But it's like the chaos theory thing, right? All these different variables, right? Like, it doesn't. Who knows what kind of beer you're drinking, what kind of food you've eaten that day, what kind of weed you've smoked. Who knows? Like anything. What kind of mood you're in, how much sleep you had the night before. Any little thing could affect your enjoyment of a movie. So who knows? But I always feel different usually about movies. Sometimes. Some movies are just always badass, and some movies are just always shit. Comic Book Therapy says, I loved Civil War. Michael says, loved Captain America. Shaq says, I bet Ultron comes back in the MCU as well. I would like to see Ultron come back, and this time I don't want him to be telling a joke every other fucking line. I get that that's Joss Whedon's thing, to make jokey villains. I get it. I love his villains in Buffy. For instance, like the Mayor is a jokey villain. That's not Ultron to me. Ultron is my favorite Avengers villain. And I was incredibly other people were hung up on the idea that it wasn't a Pym creation, it was a Stark creation. I didn't care about that. That he didn't act like Ultron. Very intense focus on Cap's relationship to his OG brother and his new G brother, meaning Bucky and Tony. It's my favorite love triangle in the MCU. Oh, there we go. See, I shouldn't say anything. Now we've had problems. Hey, what's up? Brooks is in the house, everybody. Holy crap. Look at Brooks being in here. That is the Brooks, by the way. Magnificent Mario Micro Master Machine Mutant Maniac. L-Dubs is in the house, too. What's up, LW? Iron Man 3 squad. You know it. Yep. We got the encoding problems back. Didn't quite fit. I want to try one more thing. Bear with me, y'all. All right, let's see what that does. Doesn't seem like it's doing much. Damn it. Fable says, just watched Iron Man 3. It's better on the second watch. Yeah, I think it is, and then it gets... I watched Iron Man 3 like twice the first weekend. But it doesn't last as long. The polish gets a little dull for me. But Iron Man 2 keeps getting better every time I watch it for some damn reason. I don't understand. The car chase scene in Winter Soldier is so good. Yes, it is. Brooks, since you're in here, what's your favorite MCU film? And what's your least favorite currently? Because we know it shifts. I can get my wife to watch any MCU movie but the Iron Mans. Tough luck, Herminio. The next Punisher movie should be Punisher versus Sniper with a Bushwhacker appearance. Tell me that wouldn't be dope. I think the next Punisher movie should just be him like blowing away mafia people. You didn't need a villain. I mean, the top guy, you know. Jigsaw is always too goofy in a movie. He's goofy in the comics. Mikey, you're crazy. He says, let's be real, Elektra is the best Marvel film ever and should be absorbed into the MCU. You're trolling us. You're trolling us, man. You're trolling us. Brooks was with us at the Jurassic Park screening today. PCP screening. PCP exclusive. And he was like, what stream you doing tonight? And I was like, well, it's my Sunday night stream. I don't think Brooks was aware that I do just a solo stream on Sunday nights. Live from his cave. Hell yeah. Brooks says his favorite is Thor Ragnarok and his least favorite is Thor 2. And I'll tell you this, Thor is his favorite Marvel character, with probably Phoenix at number 2. Brooks, you like any of the Phoenix movies? Do we think Wonder Woman will be pushed back to 2021? It depends on what happens with Tenet. It depends on what happens with Tenet. Tenet's going to get released one way or another. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure they're going to see what happens there. Shout out to The Bridge and Winter Soldier. It's crazy dope too. Hell yeah. What's up, Alex? Hey, like Nick says, everybody hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out. We got 70 people in here. That's always good. Your mouth is moving different from the words coming out. It's like watching a Godzilla movie. Cool. Hey, that's what we try to do. I was looking at some old live streams. It used to be way worse. But we're having encoding and buffering problems, so there you go. Clarence says, I love Thor 2. Don't hate. What's up, Wayne? He says, yo, what's up? Love your reviews. Never made a live stream before. Usually I'm hanging on Den of Nerds, live or channel or elsewhere. But your stuff is great, man. Ragnarok is among my top 3 MCU films. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Wayne. Glad you got to catch one live. Lance says, my Electra Blu-ray has shrink wrap on it. Is that really bad? Yeah, it's bad that you even have it. Like, I don't even have Electra. I got Daredevil on Blu-ray, but I don't have Electra. I still got movies with shrink wrap on it, too. Good ones. My Swingers still has shrink wrap on it. My Argo. These movies I buy, and then I just... Usually the first thing I do, though, is open it, make sure the damn disc is in there. Because that happened to me one time. I don't even remember what movie it was. But I opened it, and there was like just no movie in it. And, of course, they're not going to believe you when you tell them that. Luckily, I worked at a movie shop. The Infinity War and Endgame was an awesome experience in the theater. That won't happen again for a long time, says Herminio. Yeah, probably not. Shaq says, best comic book films of all time are Endgame and Infinity War. So many characters put on one screen, they all felt like they were important. Yeah, Brooks doesn't like the Phoenix movies. I'll tell you what, Lance, if you don't want to unwrap it, you let me unwrap it, because I know one day, we're going to do an Electra video. Well, thank you so much, John. Robzilla. Robbie, did you like Affleck's Bruce Wayne? I enjoyed it. Yeah, Clarence, I like Affleck's Batman. I didn't like him in Justice League, but I don't think that was necessarily his fault. I'm really pumped for the Snyder Cut, but I thought Ben Affleck did a fine job for the older, kind of over this shit Batman. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the Donald or the Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon version of Batman. I'm too old for this shit. Yeah, I think the Phoenix movies suck too, but that's just me. X-Men 1, X-Men 2, First Class, Days of Future Past. The rest of them, there you go. Mikey says, my copy of Showgirl still has shrink wrap on it, but the deluxe version sure doesn't. Weird stretch, bro. Comic book therapy. I appreciate compliments, but not at my homie's expense. Though I think you're joking. He says, we'll take a sketchy Rockin Robbie video over a polished Bueller video any day. Oh, man. I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. I'd rather have Batfleck than Pattinson. I'm not against the Robert Pattinson Batman stuff. I'm really excited to see what happens. In my lifetime, there have been plenty of people cast for comic book roles that initially had much negative outcry about that ultimately I really liked it. In particular, Heath Ledger's Joker. They got a lot of flack for that. Some people don't remember that, but they were all there. People were not happy about that. Michael Keaton's Batman, people weren't happy about. Now everybody clamors that he's the best Batman. People weren't necessarily happy about Christian Bale being cast as Batman because they didn't know who the hell he was. I did because I had seen American Psycho and Equilibrium and other films like that. The Machinist. So, but yeah, that's just the way it is. So I'm definitely always a wait and see kind of guy. But so far, I think it's going to be cool. Now, they did show these images. I don't think those are real. I haven't seen them on legit sites, and I've only seen them shared on, like, Facebook. So that's why I didn't mention it. But even though they're probably fake, they do look good. Casting for the MCU X-Men will be the most difficult to find. I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. And remember, nobody knew who Hugh Jackman was before they cast him as Wolverine. What's that dude who was in the dude that's in Kingsman? And he was in the Elton John film. I think he could be a good Wolverine. I don't know. He's in the that reminds me, y'all. Anybody else reading or listening to the Sandman on Audible? Holy cow. If you don't have an Audible account, your first month, you sign up, you get a book for free, and it's well worth signing up just to get that damn Sandman book. Like, holy cow. I'm on, I don't remember what issue number it is, but basically each episode is an issue of Sandman. Uncut. Like, it's all there. Neil Gaiman's the narrator, and then you got James McAvoy playing Dream, and then you got other people coming in, including that dude from the Rocket Man movie and the Kingsman movie. That is the same guy, right? Anyway, what's his name? Something Tar something Egerton? Yeah, like Tar something Egerton. He plays somebody in the Sandman Audible, and I don't know who it is, but there's something inside of me that thinks he's playing Constantine. But I don't know. Machinist was awesome. I bought the DVD for $1. Love that movie. What's crazy is that that's the movie he did right before Batman Begins. He went from that to Batman Begins. Holy cow. When he filmed The Machinist, Christian Bale was only eating like an apple a day, I've heard. Fable says, yep, those are my favorite X-Men movies too, Robbie. Great minds, Fable. Great minds. By the way, Fable, for the breaks today, I was going to spotlight some of your music, but I'm having trouble getting it to actually work with the system. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to convert some stuff over, but you just wait. Next time we'll get some of Fable's music here. I want a 6-foot Storm, y'all. Yeah, I thought back in the 90s, Angela Bassett would have been perfect. I really like the lady that plays her in those more recent X-Men films. She just didn't have anything to do. Yeah, Bueller. But I stuck up for you. I said, I appreciate compliments, but not at my friend's expense. That's what I said, Bueller. And everybody welcome Bueller here and tell him happy belated birthday. Birthday for Bueller! I would give you a Joker video, but the Joker video always causes encoding problems, so I'm not even trying to tempt it tonight. Joe Pesci should play Wolverine, has the right height and the proper attitude. I have met Chris Claremont twice, done 2 panels with him, and both times he reiterates the idea that back in the early 90s, he thought Bob Hoskins would have been the perfect Wolverine. Mario? I like Bob Hoskins, but Wolverine, you know what would have been perfect for Wolverine back in those days? Robert De Niro. Think of Cape Fear Robert De Niro as Wolverine. Oh, that would be scary. Scary. Scary, scary. Bueller, if you're still here, what's your favorite MCU film and what's your least favorite MCU film? That's kind of been the topic of conversation. Fox did Cyclops and Storm dirty. Yeah, they did Apocalypse dirty too, didn't they? And they've always done Angel dirty. But they get Magneto right. Like, the best thing about the X-Men movies to me are X-Men and or Magneto and Xavier. Like, perfect. Whether it's Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen or whether it's Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy. And by the way, James McAvoy, his Morpheus in the Sandman Audible is perfect. Holy cow. I would be totally down. I know he doesn't have the look of Dream, but I don't care. Cast that dude in the live action. Let's do it. Young Clint Eastwood as Wolverine. Yeah, but we're beyond that now. We can't have that. But that would have been good. His son could probably do it. I've heard some people talk about his son. Zac Efron as Wolverine or what character? Kids getting big and Charlie at Cloud. Here's the thing. I gotta save Zac for Johnny Storm. Zac Efron, to me, is Johnny Storm. I want to see him as Johnny Storm in the MCU. I'm saving him for that. My Fantastic Four. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Zac Efron, and Channing Tatum. With Oscar Isaac as Dr. Doom. That's my picks right there. Oh, Magneto's the best in all the X-Men films. Whether it's McKellen or Fassbender, it doesn't matter. Like, Magneto's the best in all the X-Men films. Who are they casting for Gambit? I don't know. Channing Tatum? Nah, he's been grim. Brooke says, I was crushing on Storm when I first started reading X-Men. Oh, there you go. Bueller hates his birthday, by the way. Bueller's one of those people that doesn't like his birthday being recognized or whatever, so. I appreciate y'all. Old Man Wolverine Eastwood. How about Old Man Eastwood for fucking Dark Knight Returns? How about that? I think that Targaryen dude, or whatever the hell his name is I know it's not. What the hell is his name? Emily Blunt is a great actress, but anyone would be a better Sue. You know, I wasn't completely on board until I watched Edge of Tomorrow a few weeks ago. I think Emily Blunt would be perfect as Sue. Eastwood's too tall and thin for Wolverine. Do you know who Hugh Jackman is? You know, Hugh Jackman's like over 6 feet tall. We don't care, do we? Bueller said Avengers is his number 1 favorite. Thor 2 is probably his least favorite. Life Grip says you should sing Happy Birthday to Bueller. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, old man Bueller. Happy birthday to you. I seriously think he's like only a few years older than me. Sandman Audible is $35. If you have an account, it's like $22. But if you have an account, you also get a free credit every single month. And in fact, your first credit is free if you're not signed up for Audible. And you can use that credit for. Audible costs like $16 a month. I get 1 credit. I used my credit from last month for Sandman. So I only paid $16 for it, basically. Even though technically it's the service that you're paying for. But that's pro tip. Pro tip. If you don't have an Audible account, sign up for one. You get a free credit. Use that free credit for the $35 Sandman. Taron Egerton. I'm just going to use Targaryen. Y'all see where I got the Targaryen thing from. Wasn't Negan the comedian? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That's Justin's one of his favorite actors, outside of Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, Bueller, I'm not going to sing it again. You've never had anybody sing you happy birthday before? Mike says, use my credit on Sandman 2. Another member of the Excitable PCP crew is here. I'm delaying this break because I don't want the encoding to F up during the song. But we're about to take a quick break and we're going to attempt fate here. Here's a song from the Basement Shows album, the hip-hop group I was a part of over 10 years ago. This was the first track on our debut LP. It's called Show Some Love. We'll be right back here on Pop Culture Philosophers, Rockin Robbie Live.
Being on the south, I love this fucking nation. So let's bring revolt to all because we're
celebration used to cruise up with Avenue, heading to the jello room. Ladies, love that view. Damn, that bitch goes down too soon. Now what you trying to do? Flashing daggers way past due. Acting tragic when you're through. You're just a gum under my shoe. Then we bounce to the vinyl where we dance all night. And I had a lot of drama, but I never had a fight. Tequila brings the buzz on, and I chase it with my light. The ladies love the way I speak. They say I'm airtight. Now they wanna hear my voice while they're playing with their toys, and I make them hot noise. Cause my taste is choice. Now y'all from the king of mission represent. Keep on living, stop bitching, stop suspending on my mission. Keep on wishing. Don't you think that you can't disrespect and talk that shit? Fuck up, we knock you down, suck up, cause y'all ain't nothing. Phony balls on the shade. All I'm trying to do is represent these racks for riches. So throw it up, bitches, and we ain't going away. We'll be here on Judgment Day. Show some love in every way, cause when it's time, it's never late.
I rep the dirty, liquor deal, lottie-dottie. Y'all just don't know we hold it down, we at the after party. Been drinking, dipping Henny, Grey Goose, Patron, and Remy. We smoking quarter blunts, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Buy out the whole floor, Palm Rock Hotel for sure. 80 people up in here, drinking liquor ain't no beer. We got security on lock, driving hundreds and they just don't stop. Some bitches snorting powder, but they ain't smoking rock. Speakers jumping, basses bumping, grab a girl, let's dance to something. Bitch, please don't step to me, I'm really actually like a catastrophe. Haven't eaten FEMA, see but you don't get no help cause you fucking with a G. We hold it down, we rep this town, we smoking by the ounce. So show some love, throw it up one time, yo, it ain't time to bounce. Throw your hands up, yeah, that's right. We getting down tonight, drinking, smoking, dancing, fighting, busting, hustling, feeling fine.
Don't you think that you can't disrespect and talk that shit? Fuck up, we knock you down, suck up, cause y'all ain't nothing. Phony balls on the shade. All I'm trying to do is represent these racks for riches. So throw it up, bitches, and we ain't going away. We'll be here on Judgment Day. Show some love in every way, cause when it's time, it's never late. I've been drunk at the corner, Sammy T, spinning gigs. I've been drunk too much at Crossroads, and I'm going back again. I've been drunk at the Turtle, at the Tavern, at the Joe. I was drunk out at Workplace when we dropped the basement show. Man, that's so many places, and I can't name them all. And I puked in the back of Insomnia, that's all. And I don't wanna hate at all. I don't mean to rehash it, but then Crossroads burns down. Yo, I piss on the ashes.
We rep it right, we rockin' ice, we hit the Voodoo Lounge. Chillin' in the white room, poppin' bottles, honeys all around. Then we head to Baja, where the hoes, they always getting down. The hustler girls showing off their stuff like there ain't no one round. Fat Tuesdays on the beach, sippin' rum, runners feelin' the beat. Lighting up Cubans in the tropical heat, drinking high octanes and we hit the street. This pussy tried to touch me cause he's mentally weak, so I showed him some love when I knocked at his teeth. Picked up my stogie, then I picked up my feet. Now we in the whip, then we hit South Beach. This is how we do it in FLA, every damn night and every damn day. Lighting up the green, then we hit the scene. Getting down dirty, y'all know what I mean.
If you wanna talk some shit, then listen to my suggestion. Walk away, don't say my name, and just stop asking stupid questions. I'm just trying to bring some truth, cause bitch, I've got a lot to prove. It's not where you're from, it's who you hang with, that's your crew. If you feel it, show some love with your cell phones in the air. Now let me give a shout to beats who really fucking care. They be G, Bump, D and H, A, Brookshire, E, Schaefer, Mathis, Warren, Penn, Corey, and JB, Little Nate, Jason Carter, Jen, Matt the Rev, Heather, Kevin, Moon, Michelle, Chop, and Big Reg. Don't you think that you can't disrespect and talk that shit? Fuck up, we knock you down, suck up, cause y'all ain't nothing. Phony balls on the shade. All I'm trying to do is represent these racks for riches. So throw it up, bitches, and we ain't going away. We'll be here on Judgment Day. Show some love in every way, cause when it's time, it's never late. And we are back here at Pop Culture Philosophers with Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. Join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. Right now, we got pinned at the top of that group a PCP Army movie poll, John Hughes edition. Winner of that poll, which ends on Sunday next week. We will be reviewing that one live Friday night, August 14th. Very exciting. If you're on Facebook, you might as well follow Pop Culture Philosophers while you're there. And you can follow us on Instagram as well. You can follow me personally on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. And check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, written reviews, and a whole lot more. And you can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP like David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Brian, Didi, Bullseye, Dunlaney, HC, James, Jason, Javi, Jose, Josh, Louis, Monmeet, Michael, Mikey, Nicholas, Robert, Sebastian, Timo, TJ, and William. Thank you so much for your support, but it is support enough just watching the show, hitting the thumbs up button, super chatting, sharing, all that stuff is super supportive, and we really do appreciate it. We got CMA Thunder in the house now. What's up, my man? God Tank says, I always wonder what happened to In Too Deep. Thank you, man. Thank you. Brooks said, forgot my name was in this song. Yeah, I gave a shout out to a lot of our homies at the time at the end of that song. Yep. What's up, Big E? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is like last place, Mike. But me and Brooks were talking about it today. Because Brooks is like, man, I want to do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And I think we're going to do that on Thanksgiving. Speaking of the movie reviews, we've got Action Fest concluding this upcoming Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Please do join us as we celebrate Action Fest's 2020 conclusion with a look at all Bourne movies. That's right. Jason Bourne. We're doing Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, The Bourne Legacy, and Jason Bourne. All 5 films reviewed this Friday night. The conclusion of Action Fest. After Action Fest concludes, we'll do that John Hughes movie poll winner. Right now, it's a neck-and-neck battle between Weird Science and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. My pick was Breakfast Club, but it's a distant third place. But at least we have a PCP Army movie poll that's not just 100% a landslide. So that's super, super cool. But I'm excited to do the Bourne movies. I love the first 3. I haven't seen 4 and 5, so I'll be watching those for the first time this week. When they did the Jeremy Renner one, I was just like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. We should do a John Candy Fest. That's a really good one. But after the John Hughes movie, we're going to be doing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The next week, we'll be doing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. The week after that, we plan on doing Bill and Ted Face the Music. And then guess what, y'all? It's time for Horror Fest. Horror Fest is a 2-month celebration of all things Halloween and horror related here on the channel. Very excited. We'll be doing some videos, in particular videos about horror movies. We love it. It's our favorite time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Horror Fest. So, I've already announced some of this in the PCP Army. That's right. That's one of the reasons why you should join the PCP Army. Get your voice heard in the PCP Army movie polls, and you get a little bit of information beforehand sometimes. But right now, and like I always say, this show is fueled by your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your concerns. So get them in right now. Let's get this conversation going. And we're going to need some help from y'all for Horror Fest. But y'all ready for the Horror Fest announcement? We're about to announce the movies that we're going to be covering in Horror Fest. Guaranteed. There may be other movies, but here we go. First of all, Ricky says that collection is up there with Rambo. I agree. Bourne, to me, is a great action franchise along with Rambo. And these franchise reviews that we've been doing blow me away. The first one we did was Rambo. We're like, let's do all 5 Rambos in one night. We had a lot of fun doing that stream. So then we did Mission Impossible. Now we're doing Jason Bourne. And we got 2 that we're handling in Horror Fest. So here are the Horror Fest Announcements, everybody. It's coming. Halloween time in Huntsville Attic. All right. I told you guys that we're going to be doing more franchise reviews. The first one we're doing, Phantasm. So in one night, we'll be covering all 5 Phantasm films, including Phantasm, Phantasm 2, Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, the worst one in my opinion, Phantasm 4, Oblivion, and Phantasm 5, Ravager, which I have actually not seen yet. Another franchise that we're covering in its entirety in one night is the Night of the Living Dead films by George A. Romero. We lost him a few years ago. I love his work. We love these Dead films. So in one night, we'll be covering Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, which is my favorite George A. Romero zombie film and my favorite movie poster from those films, and I really want a copy of this poster one day. Then we've got Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, which I absolutely love. And then we wrap it all up there with Survival of the Dead. So all the Dead films by Romero in one night. Then we got some solo ones that we'll be doing, including The Lost Boys. Cry, little sister. That's right, we're doing The Lost Boys yet again for Horror Fest, because why not? Well, Joel Schumacher, we lost him this year, so kind of a nice tribute there. We'll also be covering Near Dark, another one of my favorite vampire films from the year 1987. There are 2, and it's Lost Boys and Near Dark, a great Bill Paxton film with Lance Hendrickson and other people as well. Catherine Bigelow directed this film, and I love it. Cannot wait to finally cover it here. Then we'll be finally doing Halloween, the 2018 version of Halloween, which I still have never seen. So I'm very, very excited about that one. And we're covering The Wolfman from 1941, one of my favorite Universal horror classics. You know, speaking of Universal horror classics, how about this? Do you remember last year when I did those live movie commentaries for Dracula, Dracula's Daughter, and Son of Dracula? Well, we got a new thing coming up for Horror Fest this year. It's called Mummy Monday. That's right, we're going to hit a section of 5 Mondays in a row where I'm doing live movie commentaries on the Universal classic mummy films. First up, The Mummy. Then The Mummy's Hand. The Mummy's Tomb. The Mummy's Ghost. And then we wrap it up with The Mummy's Curse. Those are going to be live movie commentaries, meaning that as I'm streaming, I am actually watching the film. And it's meant to be like a commentary that you can go back to. We did this last year with Dracula, Dracula's Daughter, and Son of Dracula. This year we're doing it with those 5 Universal Monster mummy movies. And then what else? I don't know, but we're doing 2 PCP Army movie polls. So right now, what I need to hear from you are suggestions of movies. I'm looking for 10 movies to break up into 2 polls. Possibly 12, depends. Possibly. So, throw out a horror movie that you would love us to watch and review live here on Pop Culture Philosophers for Horror Fest. What will it be? I don't know. Get it in right now. You know, I've already found Reese's Pumpkins. Chocolate peanut butter pumpkins at the store. So technically that means we can go ahead and start Horror Fest, but we do got to wrap up Action Fest and then kick into some Bill and Ted. So what I'm looking for right now are horror movies to suggest for the PCP Army movie polls. I see Silver Bullet. We'll throw that one up there. Silver Bullet written down. Robbie, who's your favorite storyteller, writer, artist, and your favorite artist? What book got you permanently into comics? Clarence, we'll touch that in just a moment. I wish the Snake on a Plane Netflix series was a real thing. Really? Mike says, can we do Let the Right One In? Well, we'll put it on the poll. That's a great film. Both the original and the remake. Yeah, Let Me In, I think is better. Well, I don't know. I think the original one's better, but that's just me. Maybe it'll be different on a rewatch. Kirby says, I love Phantasm so much, need to revisit the whole franchise. Yes, so do I, and I just got the giant collection here. Came with the ball. I love the Phantasm movies. Love them. Brooks says, George A. Romero should have done the Resident Evil movie. Yeah, we've agreed on that for over 20 years. Or just under 20 years, maybe. Reverse Amoeba says, I love Near Dark. Bonafide horror classic, in my opinion. Same. Are we best friends now? 30 Days a Night. Okay, that's a good one. Society. I don't even know what that one is. Just throw them out there. April Fool's Day. My Bloody Valentine. I'm assuming you're talking about the original, right? Y'all are pulling them out, aren't you? Relic? What's Relic? Chris, what's up, my man? OG Psycho. That would be a good one to revisit. Love that film. The Witch. Mike, they can't all be yours. I'm putting a star on the ones that Mike is picking because he's technically a member of the PCP crew, so. Brooks says Hostel 2. I know he doesn't want that shit on this. I know he doesn't want it on. That's funny as hell. Jeepers Creepers. I've never seen that. I hear it's good. I hear the first one's really good. Puppet Master. Alien's a little bit more sci-fi horror. I mean, it works. It does work. Maybe. Cabin in the Woods. All right, we're running out of room here. Scream. We're going to save Scream because we're going to do a whole Scream franchise thing one day. Final Destination. Pet Cemetery. I'm about to close out the suggestions. The Gate 2. We can't do the Gate 2 without doing the Gate 1. But I'll put the Gate on there. Wolfen. We got a lot of picks right there. We're going to be doing 2 PCP Army movie polls for Horror Fest. Scanners, Hatchet. How about The Brood? I like The Brood. Wishmaster? Okay. Bucket of Blood. Pumpkinhead. We'll put Pumpkinhead on there again. It always loses. Poltergeist is a great one. The problem with Poltergeist is one of those movies that if you put it on there, you're worried that it's actually going to just blow the rest of them away. I'm not putting Basket Case on the list. I'm sorry. No, that movie's too much for me. Candyman would be a good one because of the new Candyman movie, actually. We may actually have to do that one just... Yeah, I put down Puppet Master. All right, it's over. So, maybe the movie that you mentioned tonight will be one that we cover. Definitely go ahead and join the PCP Army on Facebook if you haven't already. So that way, you get your voice heard. Chopping Mall is something that Holshoe loves. Is the 89 Warlock with Julian Sands a horror movie? I think it counts. If I'm going to count things like Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice, then yes. That's enough of one. But we got some great picks here that I wrote down, so heck yeah. We'll probably get some good ones coming in. All right. What was that comment again? Let's see. Those are some really good picks, y'all. Who is your favorite storyteller, writer, artist, and your favorite artist? What book got you permanently into comics? So my favorite storyteller, meaning writer and artist. I mean, it's the same as my favorite artist, but it's, okay, let me be honest. My favorite writer slash artist would be Mike Mignola, 100%. My favorite artist is Jack Kirby. And the book that got me cemented into comic books is Fantastic Four. So there you go. Episode 1's the most fucked up horror movie ever. I don't know. I think Attack of the Clones is pretty more effed up. Bro, Chopping Mall. I didn't think anybody else saw that movie. Oh, man, we've seen it all, bro. For the most part. I haven't seen Jeepers Creepers. Darkness Falls. Wasn't that the one that had Anya from Buffy in it? Human Centipede. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not even going to write that one down. American Werewolf in London is too spectacular to be put on a poll. We're just going to have to do that one again one day. Candyman's a good one, too. We might want to do Candyman this year since there's a new one. Maybe we'll do a Candyman franchise, but that would be too friggin' much. We wanted to do Hellraiser, the franchise, but that's a lot of damn movies, too, isn't it? Seems like doing 5 to 6 movies, if it's in the franchise, that's good enough. Maybe we can break up Hellraiser in 2 parts or something. We got 58 people in here. That's cool. That's cool. So hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. It really helps us out, especially in the middle of the stream. Hey, we got 62 likes. That means we got more likes than we have people in here right now, so that's pretty dope. Chucky's a good franchise to do. That's a good one. I want to write that down. Hamburger Basket. The Witch. Ba-doom. Na 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 na. Do 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 do. For those of you that didn't know what I was just doing, I was doing the Suspiria music by Goblin. Suspiria is like one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Evil Dead's a great one to do a whole franchise of. I'll write that one down too. But we do have 2 franchise nights already. And I realize that we put a lot of movies on this list. It's because we're going to be doing like 2 live movie nights a week. Goblin's amazing. That's a great top 5 I got to do during Horror Fest. Top 5 Goblin soundtracks. Suspiria, Zombie, which is Dawn of the Dead, Profondo Rosso, which is Deep Red. We could have an Argento night. Oh my goodness. Their music is so damn good. Any good horror flicks based on comics? Horror movies based on comics. Creepshow maybe counts. So that's the only thing I can really think of. It's a horror film based on a comic. I gotta think about that one. Chris knows what's up with the Goblin. I haven't seen the remake of Suspiria. It looked way different, but I do want to watch it. And I love that Tom York did the soundtrack. That seems very intriguing to me. So I will watch it one day. Maybe this year. We already loaded up this year. We've loaded up, but who knows? I've had opportunities to see Goblin live, but I haven't actually followed through on any of those opportunities. You know what? The encoding actually got better once I took the break. It's kind of ramping up again, though. We'll see what happens. Tales from the Crypt. It's a great horror comic book with 2 not so great movies, but, you know, there you go. Swamp Thing. Brooks says Blade is sort of horror-based. That's a good one, actually, thinking about it. Lovecraft Country, speaking of horror, looks like it's going to be really good. I am very excited to check it out, Shaq. Very excited. Nightmare on Elm Street film used Marvel books illegally. There you go. Swamp Thing is a great horror book, but I don't think it's a great horror movie. And yeah, I love me some Wes Craven, but I don't really like the Swamp Thing movies. Maybe they're alright. Walking Dead's not a movie. He asked for movie, right? I don't really like the Walking Dead TV show. What is the scariest modern horror movie you have seen, Robbie? Insidious for me. That's always tough for me when people ask me what's the scariest, because I don't think these movies don't really scare me. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but I would say that off the dome, what pops into my head is The Conjuring, the first one. I thought that was incredibly effective and well done. Frailty. We were talking about Bill Paxton earlier with Near Dark. Bill Paxton and Frailty. That's a scary motherfucker. 100%. That's a great one. Frailty, if you haven't seen it. I love Us. I think Us, not only was it like my favorite movie last year, it's one of my favorite horror movies in a long time, but it wasn't necessarily scary to me. But it's a different thing when you say what scares you. Out of all those films of the last 20 years, I would say Frailty was the only one that really scared me, and that's because I know religious zealots that would probably start hearing voices from God and cut off people's heads thinking they're demons. Get Out's really good, though. Get Out's really, really good. Wasn't super scary for me, though, but it's a very good movie. Get Out and Oz. Jordan Peele is a master right now. True master of horror. The Mist is really good, too. It's a bit scary. Like what's scary? That movie, when you watch a lot of horror movies, they cease being scary and they just start being fun and good. But out of modern recent movies like Frailty, The Conjuring, the Jordan Peele stuff, those are great. Brooks said Us scared him. I'm too accustomed to the idea that it's not real that I don't really get into it that much. Us was one of my favorites, though. That music, because horror movie music is very important to me. And on Us, oh my goodness, the ha 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 ha. Here's one for you. I don't know if this counts for modern. I think that Ju-on, which is the movie that The Grudge was based on, it's the Japanese movie that the original Grudge was based on, that movie is legitimately scary to me. That movie scares the shit out of me. It really does. Even Ju-on 2. Ju-on, if you've never seen him, watch him. J-U-O-N. That's what The Grudge is based on. Yeah, I know. The Grudge isn't that good. I haven't seen it. There was like a new one. I don't even know. But The Grudge isn't that scary or good at all. But Ju-on is. Holy crap. The Ring has potential to be scary, but Ringu is actually scary. The Japanese stuff is a bit more scarier to me. Audition, that stuff's a little bit more scary now that you mention it. Maybe it's the cultural difference, something like that. I do want to remind everybody, though, all this talk of Horror Fest, but Action Fest ends this week with our look at all of the Bourne movies. All 5 Bourne movies done in one night, reviewed. We're going to have a blast, man. Starting to have encoding issues again, so I decided to move to this. You may see this happen every so often, because this really knocks it down. Anyway. Where were we? Yeah, I like the Jordan Peele movies, too. Brian says The Void is one of the scarier, newer movies I've seen. I've never seen that, so I have to write that down. From 2016? All right. Zodiac has some terrifying moments. You talking about the movie, about the serial killer? that what you're talking about? Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet is the scariest thing in moviedom. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig it 100. Do you have martial arts fest? We've never done a martial arts fest, but we have had a lot of requests to do some martial arts movies, and so we'll do some, especially at the turn of the year, because Horror Fest is coming up. I mean, Horror Fest. You know, in Action Fest, I think it's funny, because in Action Fest, we'll do action movies, and then we'll do, like, other movies in the middle of it. Like, we just did New Jack City. Kind of could count for Action Fest, but, for me, it didn't really count for an Action Fest, but we just did it. We did the same thing with some other movies, too. But on Horror Fest, it's literally, unless it's a brand new movie, like Tenet or something, or Black Widow, we ain't covering it during Horror Fest. But, Ricky, what I was getting at was that next year for Action Fest, which is our summer thing, we only really have ever two fests. We have Horror Fest, we have Action Fest. And this was actually the first time we actually kind of celebrated Action Fest with our movie reviews here on the channel. And we've had a lot of fun with it. But next year we already know that we're doing all the Die Hard films, and we're doing all the Terminator films, and maybe even all the Lethal Weapon films, but we are also throwing in some martial arts content next year. Clarence says, okay, can you do a scary comic? Have you been frightened by a comic book lately? Yes. Comic books are different for me because they involve more of the imagination. Not as much as a book, but more to the imagination. I think there are some very incredibly effective horror comic books right now. Infidel was one. Infidel from Image Comics was really legitimately scary. I think Gideon Falls is unnerving and scary. And see, maybe scary is the wrong word. Maybe unnerving is the better word. Infidel, Gideon Falls, The Plot, Ice Cream Man. We are in a renaissance for horror comics right now. So those are some of the ones that really pop up right there. You should be on the Halo Infinite soundtrack. If they asked me to be, I would be. I'd be like, Halo, Halo, hey, hi, Halo. I'm glad that Brooks is watching, because Brooks now realizes that I don't just sing to him. I sing to everybody. Red Mother's another great one. Brooks, you're right. It's a very unnerving, kind of scary book. Gideon Falls, though, wow. Creepy. Creepshow, the movie, I think, is actually scary with the bug scene. Ooh. Oh, Witches is a great one, too. Yeah, Infidel's good, and Witches. Empty Man, I couldn't quite get into. I need to sit down and read all of it. What are some scary movies? I mean, what are the scariest movies and comics to y'all? Ice Cream Man is incredibly unnerving. My favorite issue still, and it's like they keep just being so innovative with Ice Cream Man, right? Sink is unnerving. Hell yeah, it is, man. The John Lee's Hotel's pretty good too. Sink is more unnerving for me as far as that goes. Mountainhead hit some damn crazy parts. The Sweetheart Run was unnerving to me. Yeah, issue 3 of that comes out this week. It's already all come out digitally. I've read it all. It has a lackluster ending for me, but otherwise it's pretty good too. But yeah, the John Lee stuff is great, Mike. There's a lot of great horror magna. Yeah, I've heard about that. What's that dude's name? Ito or whatever? I hear his stuff is really good, and I want to check that out. I think sometimes when you cross cultures like that, it can really... We're not used to, I guess, certain things about Japanese culture or whatever. That's why those Japanese horror films hit so hard for a while there. And I think the same thing's happening with the manga. OG Twilight Zone can be very unnerving and creepy. Well, thank you, Samuel. I don't think you speak for everybody, but thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I prefer my rapping. That song during the break, that's a fun song to me. I really like it. Oh, we just wanted to do a song that was about, like... Because we always tried to, like... We don't want every song to be about, like, drinking, doing drugs, and fucking, right? That's not what we want to do. But we wanted one song to be at least about that, and that's what Show Some Love is. Scott Snyder's Severed is really good. I'd like to see that. And originally I heard that was a movie script that he adapted into a comic book script. Jacob's Ladder's pretty scary. Yeah, it's very effective. You're right. Chris says Black Hole by Charles Burns is pretty horror-y, creepy. Girl from the Other Side read it this week. Fantasy horror vibes. Shaq says manga is great. You're not a fan. It's not that I'm not a fan. I haven't absorbed a lot of manga. I love Akira, but I haven't really read a lot of it, to be honest with you. I know Jim keeps trying to get me to read Berserk. He says I'd like that. And he mentioned Van Helsing the other day, which I've seen the anime for Van Helsing. I thought it was okay. Dead Day was creepy and awesome, and the Train to Busan movie is wretchedly scary. I've never seen that one. I have really fallen behind on my movie watching over the last few years with the focus in on comics, but it's definitely something I plan on correcting. Cult Classics Creature Feature. Man, what a great when them skeletons jump out of them kids' bodies. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You gotta watch Lair of the White Worm. Man, I am. And the crazy thing is that horror movies are almost a dime a dozen now. And so I automatically skip a lot of them. Hey, Bob is here, everybody. Bob from Everything Comics. I hope you checked out his channel. If you haven't already, you definitely need to go check it out because last Friday night we had our Best Comics of the Month live stream on that channel. A good old time. Me, Bob, Bueller, Jim from Jim Mint Collectibles, and Dylan from Dylan's Comics. Talked about our favorite comic books of the month. Bob, right now we're talking about our favorite scary movies and scary comic books. What to you are the best and scariest movies of recent years and comic books? If you got any answers. You still need to watch The Platform. Thank you for reminding me, man. I got like 30 movies listed on this thing. Lair of the White Worm is a pretty old movie featuring a young Hugh Grant. That's my favorite kind of Hugh Grant. At least we haven't been having as much encoding issues. So that's cool. That's cool. Don't forget, even though we're talking about all this Horror Fest stuff, Bourne. We're concluding Action Fest this Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Join me, Brooks, and others as we talk about all 5 Bourne films, the last 2 of which I'll be watching for the very first time. We still got other excitement coming up, including Show and Tell and Top 5. So very, very cool. Ice Cream Man is done by Image Comics. It's great. Freaks from the Heartland and The Nail are scary, eerie stuff, as well as Harrow County. Manor Black was good, too. Speaking of Harrow County. Gideon Falls, though, to me is like the creme de la creme when it comes to truly unique and terrifying horror right now. And it delves into extra-dimensional science fiction, which doesn't hurt. Which doesn't hurt. Hey, CMA Thunder with Super Chat. And he says, the OG Exorcist when you are 7. Dude, when I was like 5 years old, nothing scared me more than The Exorcist and the Thriller video. Both of those scared the hell out of me. And thank you, my man, for that Super Chat, helping us upgrade the studio. Oh. Yeah. Yo. Yeah. Well, I'm building an empire, coming by a vampire. Let me tell you, everybody, no, I'm not an umpire. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm right now talking about streaming on to you. I don't even know why I attempted to do some kind of freestyle bullshit, because it's all just bullshit, man. It doesn't even matter, but it spits out my brain like a sandwich with no lettuce. Come on, let you tell us what you gonna do, man. I don't even understand, Captain Power. Let me tell you, do what you wanna say. Ah, that was terrible. Very terrible. I think I'll stick to my day and night job. Yeah, that's right. Keep it tight. Joker says thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, that was terrible. Don't forget, everybody, this upcoming Friday night, Bourne. We're talking about the Bourne movies. Thank you so much, CMA Thunder. I tried to force that freestyle and it just wasn't working. Usually it takes a few super chats and Joker videos to really get me like in the mood. Maybe it takes a few beers. I don't know. But I knew before I even started that it wasn't gonna work for that time. But you know, you just gotta keep rolling with it, man. Then you wind up just looking around and like Captain Power, hour after hour, Joker Vans and Spider-Mans. What they'll ever. But anyway, thank you so much for that super chat, CMA Thunder. We're building an extra studio. We're expanding out, trying to have more things that we can do in-house and have fun with it. So thank you so much for donating to the cause, my friend. You want to see the 89 Batmobile right here? So this is the Toy Biz 89 Batmobile. It's a little dusty. I need to clean it. But it's got the open canopy. That's okay. But yeah, it's a great toy. It's got the missiles. It's got one of the missiles is in there. See? I think I only have one of the missiles, yeah. But that's it. That's from the Toy Biz collection from 1989. And then that's the Superpowers Batmobile from the 80s with a Robin and a Batman in it. And then that's a Mego Batmobile, I believe from the 70s. And this one is actually David Hatch's, one of the King Generals of our Patreon page. Great supporter of this channel. And he let me he's like, just hold on to this as long as you want. It's like, cool. So that's actually not even mine, but who knows? Maybe he'll leave it to me one day. But I've actually over there got some of his Migos and a Batcave. And the plan is to maybe make a video about it one day. Say, go Robbie, go Robbie, go. Ninja, rap. Oh, the Yankees tied it back up. 7-7. What a crazy game. I bet it would have been a great game to watch. Instead of sitting here fighting with the damn internet. It seems like once we got past the first hour, it seems like it's kind of cooled down. Now we're an hour too. Holy shit. Time flies when you're streaming and having fun. Don't you know? What's the fuck? I can just imagine that every once in a while there's somebody who's like, yeah, I really like this cat's comic book reviews. Let me check out his live streams. And they're like, why is this guy just drinking and fucking singing? Yankees lead 9-7 in the 8th, baby. We gonna feel 7-1. We already got the Major League's best record. Come on, man. Bro, the Yankees are unstoppable. Unstoppable. I do want to talk about that real quick. Two teams have outbreaks in the first week of the damn season. The Marlins and the Cardinals. Bruh, come on, man. And then Manfred's all like, y'all, we gonna have to get this on lockdown or we gonna shut down. Yeah. Because watch the NBA. They got that shit on lockdown. They got virtual fans in the stand. I was talking to Strickland. I was like, Jay Strick, what we got to do to be virtual fans in the stand? I hate that the Lakers got trounced by the damn Raptors last night. Of course, playing basketball against actual Velociraptors is pretty damn scary and kind of unfair. The Judge. My name is Judge. But no, I really think the MLB should have done what the NBA did with the bubbles. They should have had 2 different bubbles, one in like Arizona, one in Florida, or something like that. I think they should have done something like that. I hope we make it through the season because right now the Yankees are dominating. But don't worry, Herminio. Everybody's going to be like, after we win the World Series, everybody's going to be like, oh, 2020 doesn't count. 2020 doesn't count. Yeah, it counts. There are going to be more people being able to make it into the postseason this year. Yeah, Alex, I like the Batman Beyond show. I don't like it as much as I like Batman the Animated Series, but I do like the Batman Beyond show. I haven't watched every single episode, and it's one of those things that I do have always intended to watch all the way through. Oh, Chris, you're right. You didn't hear Born, you heard Porn. We're doing our favorite 6 porn movies this week for Action Fest. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's Born. Jason Bourne. Why am I not surprised about the Marlins? What's crazy, it didn't even happen in Florida. Apparently, it all got traced back to a night out one night in Atlanta. Yankees keep winning, they'll shut it down. You had that Superpowers Batmobile. Oh, man, this is my favorite. I've got the Bat Missile from Batman Returns, but it's missing like its fins and its canopy. I need to get those, but this Batmobile from Superpowers is in really good shape. They're all a little dusty. I need to clean. But they're all in good shape. Everything still works. Headlights. Battering ram. Get it? And the catcher. Back there. It's got all of its globes intact. Got my Batman and Robin in it. Superpowers are some of my absolute favorite figures. Always love the detail on the bottom. Right there. Really good stuff. So there you go. 3 of my Batmobiles. Right there. Right now, I can see the Supermobile. I can see the X-Men Blackbird. I can see the Joker van. I can see the Batcopter. I can see the Phantom Striker from Captain Power. Punisher van's on the horizon. Turtle van is over on the other end. And I got to give a mad props out to our homie Eric, who hooked me up with these bombs for my Turtle van. So now, aside from the seat belt, Turtle van's complete. Talk about Action Fest. Yeah, no shit, right? Aaron freaking Judge, let me go take a look at the highlights. Let me go take a piss. That means we're taking another break, but we'll be right back. In the last and final segment of the show, we'll be talking more about whatever you want to talk about, pop culture, comic books, and more. We'll be talking about my top 5 favorite Wonder Woman comics of all time. Wonder Woman runs, more appropriately. And we'll be doing some show and tell and opening up some Power Ranger figures. Even some expensive ones. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live at Pop Culture Philosophers. And we are back. Here for the third and final segment of Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night, August 2nd, 2020. Join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. Right now, you can vote in the PCP Army movie poll, John Hughes edition. Right now, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, battling it out. But I encourage you to vote for Breakfast Club, a distant third. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. I hardly ever post there, though. We're also on Instagram and, of course, on Facebook. And you can check out PopCulturePhilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. And you can support the channel just by doing what you're doing. Watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. But if you want to go a little deeper in your support, Super Chats are open. They'll trigger a Joker video. And you can join Patreon.com/PCP and join these fine gentlemen right there in support of the channel and everything we do. Thank you so much. Right now, we're getting money to expand the studio into a second room, have more room to show off more of the collection, have more sets where we can have more people in, and things like that. So lots of good stuff, lots of good stuff. So this is the final segment, so get your final thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff in, and let's fuel the last bit of the show before we get into the top 10 and before we get into show and tell. The Yankees win! 7-1! 7-1. Hell yes. What was that? Anyway, somebody had asked about the Todd McFarlane documentary. Where was that? There's that last song y'all heard. I love that song so much. You're going to hear that twice on every Rockin' Robbie Live. Dun, 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 dun. It was Tin Man. Anybody watch the Todd McFarlane documentary on Sci-Fi on YouTube? Yes. Talked a little bit about it with the fellas on last Friday night on the Everything Comics channel. I loved it. I thought it was great. Just needs to be longer. It needs to be an hour and a half. They just skipped over stuff that they should have spent more time on, but I get it. Sci-Fi channel, nobody gives a shit about comics, right? Not really. Not really. But, hey, we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Richard. I'm not even going to attempt to freestyle right now. Yo, yo. Yeah. I'm the Joker man with the smile on my face. Green hair and dark makeup around my eyes make me look creepy, man. Look in my face, I got some scars. Look in my mouth, I've got some balls that I'll spit out. Don't you understand? I'm the crazy Joker man. It's the crazy Joker man, don't you understand? Oh, don't you ever slime in my pocket for my slime pit, but I'm crazy, understand? I'm the Joker man, party man. Prince is the best at R&B. Yeah. Party man. Party man. Anyway, how are y'all doing? Thank you for the super chat, Richard. Richard says, how close is the Umbrella Academy to the comic? Kind of very close, and at the same time, kind of not very close whatsoever. The characters are pretty much the same. Some of them have some slightly different powers, so that's interesting. Some of the plots align themselves pretty much the same. The first book of the Umbrella Academy is about the apocalypse in Vanya and all that stuff, and the second book of the Umbrella Academy is about some of them being in Dallas in the 60s during the JFK assassination. But what I really like about Umbrella Academy is that it's expanding out, and one of those rare instances where I think that the show adds so much more to the story and to the characters that it's actually better, and at the same time elevates the book itself from being better. The book is a much faster, in-your-face, absurd experience than the show is. The show is way much more slower paced and nuanced at times. But I love both. And that's why I was super pumped for the show. I'm 3 episodes into season 2, and I'm really, really digging it. So thank you for the question and the super chat, helping support the cause. Nick says, I see your shop is an hour and 20 minutes away from me in Nashville. Road trip maybe one day. How is your back issue stock, and do you have dollar bins and a decent key selection? We have a really good selection of dollar bin. We have great dollar bins, 50 cents, 25 cents. I think we have a lot. We add to it literally every day. So that's cool. I think we have a really good stock of back issues. Some things we don't have, some things we do. As far as key selections, we always have some keys there, but what happens is that we post our keys on Facebook when we receive them and price them and get them ready, and they usually go like that. So we actually do a very good job of not holding on for too many keys. If you go to a comic shop and you see that they have all these keys and they always have them, well, they're not selling them. We sell through a lot. So one of the best things to do at our shop is you put yourself on a want list. We get like a want list probably, I don't even know how deep, for Hulk 181 or Spider-Man 129. But what happens is when we get a key, we post it on our Facebook page, and it usually gets got like that. So we don't keep too many of them in stock, but we do have some things. If you're ever looking for something, Nick, just let me know, and I'll put you on the list. But yeah, I think most, obviously I would always say that my shop is a great place to come, right? But most people that come into our shop really, really like the experience. So I think you should come check us out. And if you do come in there and you see me, let me know you're a member of the PCP Army. We just had Tyler come in a couple weeks ago. He was like, hey man, I'm PCP Army. How you doing? And we had a good time hanging out, chatting for a moment. So absolutely, if you come into the shop, let me know that it's you. And we'll have a conversation. It'll be fun. I'll recommend you some comics. I'll try to sell you some vault books. I have a whole vault section. I love those guys. They're great stuff. CMA, I would agree. I think the show is better than the comics, but it actually enhances the comics to me. And I'm not talking shit about the comics. I love the Umbrella Academy comics so freaking much. So I'm cool. I'm glad that they're adding to it, developing those characters even further, because each of those books is only like 6 to 7 issues. So they don't have a lot of time to get to a lot of nuance. The show does. So I really appreciate both of them. They're two aspects of the same brilliant gem, if that makes sense. But Richard, it is the comic book fuels the show by 100%. Seriously, if you read the books and you watch the show, you definitely understand where they get season 1 from book 1 and where they're getting season 2 from book 2. They had a lot of book 2 that was thrown into season 1, for instance, Hazel and Cha Cha. They're in book 2. They're more tied into the Dallas stuff, but they switched some things around. But to me, it actually elevates it all. Yeah, that was the craziest. That was the crazy Joker Man song. Brooks is crying and smiling. That's what happens every time I sing. I think it's based more on the comics than some shows are. The characters are spot on from the book. They've been developed more fully because they have more time to do that. And like Eric says, the TV show is not drawn by Gabriel Ba, which that alone is worth reading those comics. I love the comics. I think they're amazing. I think they're brilliant. I think Gerard Way is a brilliant writer. So, yeah, I love the show and the comics. The show is based on the comics, and there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences too. But the differences, to me, are actually grounded in the comic. They're not just shit they made up. Even some of the shit they made up is still grounded to me in the comics and the personalities of those characters. But I would highly encourage Umbrella Academy, the TV show and the comic, to anybody. Especially members of the PCP Army. Crazy Joker Man. What the fuck is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I have to go to the bank today. Lord. I hadn't even drinking as many beers as I typically do. Because I literally spent the first 30 minutes just freaking out about the encoding problems. And I'm sorry, they seem to have ironed out, so that's cool. I just know if that happens next time, just be like, oh, by the way, this Friday night we're talking about Jason Bourne. Not Jason Bourne, but Jason Bourne. All 5 movies, we're wrapping up Horror Fest. Here on Pop Culture Philosophers. All right, it's time for a top 10. No, my bad. It's time for a top 5. Tonight we're talking about my top 5 favorite Wonder Woman comics. Here we go. At number 5, the John Byrne run. Y'all know I'm a big John Byrne fan, so I can't have a Wonder Woman list and not have John Byrne's run on it. I really like it. There's a lot of stuff about Apocalypse and New Genesis in it, but I think it's a pretty solid run. Not the best Wonder Woman run, but I think it's pretty solid. And me just being such a huge fan of John Byrne, gotta put it on the list. At number 4, the George Perez run. That's right, George Perez's run, which started in 1987. This is the definitive Wonder Woman run to me. This is where a lot of the mythology comes from. A lot of stuff that you'll see in the movie and other comic books, they come from this. George Perez's art really started taking a more elaborate turn with his Wonder Woman Passion Project. Really like it. Potter, Perez, and Patterson on a Passion Project. Wonder Woman. That's number 4. At number 3, Greg Rucka 1.0. Greg Rucka has 2 separate runs on Wonder Woman. His first run is pre-Flashpoint. In fact, it's pre and during Infinite Crisis, and I loved it. We get the new character of, Valerie Cooper. She's kind of like her Lex Luthor. Lots of cool stuff. J.G. Jones, Drew Johnson, doing covers, doing interiors. Really like this run. It ties a lot into Infinite Crisis. There's some Maxwell Lord stuff that just gets so amazing. In fact, the very important moment in Wonder Woman's history where she kills Max Lord, that's from this run. Absolutely amazing. Number 2, Greg Rucka 2.0. So after New 52, DC Rebirth, Greg Rucka came back with Liam Sharp and others, and I love this run. It undoes some stuff from the New 52, but that's fine. Let that story stand on its own, because the second Greg Rucka run on Wonder Woman stands on its own. Great arc by Liam Sharp, coloring by Laura Martin, other artwork by other people. I love this run. It reestablishes Diana for this new DC universe, and it does it in a very nuanced and personal way, and I love it. And my number 1, no surprise, is the New 52 run, Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang. And if you would have ever told me that Brian Azzarello was going to be responsible for my favorite Wonder Woman run, I would have laughed you ass out of here, silly. I love the hell out of this run. It is bold, it is different, it is unique. There's a lot of symbolism in it with the way the gods are portrayed, and I love it so much. Cliff Chiang's artwork, lean and mean and clean, and I love it. Tony Atkins comes in and does some stuff, and it's pretty decent too. I love the idea of making her more closely tied into the Greek pantheon. They're literally her siblings now. They redid some of her power set, and that stuff still stands. I love the characterization of Diana. I love this journey. I love this mission, and it's just my absolute favorite Wonder Woman comic ever, and that was my top 5 favorite Wonder Woman comic book runs of all time. So there you go. That got mentioned last week, and I pretty much rattled them off last week, so that's not really much new information to some of y'all, but nice to get it going. And one day I'm probably going to do a whole edited video. Right now I just don't have the time. We've been doing these movie lives. We've been doing the live stream here. We've been doing weekly comic book review, the top 10 now. It's hard to fit in some extra content, but I am fairly certain that once we get the expansion of the studio done, we'll be able to really pump out some new stuff, including season 3 of Comics Revisited, which we are now planning hopefully on launching at the very beginning of 2021. Robbie's always getting turned up, man. Always getting turned up. Tin Man says Perez is a legend, you're right. Herminio asks, no Gail Simone run? No, I don't really like the Gail Simone run. But I haven't read all of it, to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Gail Simone's work. I think she's fine. I think she's talented. I think it's decent. But to me, it's just decent. There's nothing ever extraordinary from her. I know a lot of people really like her Wonder Woman run, and if I ever do that as an official top 5 edited video, I will definitely read that run, and I'll reread the Denny O'Neil stuff and all that stuff too. When I do a top 5, I do a lot of research and put into it. The top 5s I do here on the live streams are always fun, and they can shift and change, and that's why I like it. Like the Donny Cates one we did last week, that could be completely different a few months from now. So I have a lot of fun doing those. But no, I don't really like the Gail Simone run that much. I like the Phil Jimenez run. It's pretty decent. It's a little stagnant, a little stiff and stale at times, and other S words that mean the same type of thing. But, no Gail Simone for me. But Byrne, Perez, Rucka 1, Rucka 2, Azzarello. See, I don't really like the Secret Six. Like, I like the original Villains United stuff. But Secret Six I just never really get. She just doesn't keep me engaged in a book. Maybe it's something to me like Steve Orlando, where I like Steve Orlando's work way better if I read it all lumped up together. So there you go. So I will definitely be rereading before I do an official, super official, meaning I did an edited video for a top 5 and put it out there. Until I do that, before I do that, I would read all those runs again, and I would spend 2 weeks reading nothing but Wonder Woman comics. And I just don't have the time to commit to that right now because last night I read more Spawn. So now I'm y'all know I got to issue 40 of Spawn, and now I'm making my way to issue 50. In fact, I'm on issue 49 right now. So right now I'm in the Spawn section where that dude, was it the Curse or whatever, completely chopped him up into different pieces, and the suit put him back together and used worms and shit to bring him back to. I love it. It's so freaking stupid. Love it. Most Wonder Woman fans like the Gale run. I like Gale, but I haven't read her Wonder Woman. I know a lot of her fans like her run on that character. So it will be something I'll have to check out in its entirety. Robbie, are you going to watch Star Trek Lower Decks? Eventually. I don't have CBS All Access right now. I usually have that subscription current when the NFL's in session, because then I can watch my CBS games. So that's usually when I have CBS All Access activated. Right now, I have no streaming services activated except for, I'm on a free trial of Netflix to watch Umbrella Academy. But I still have Disney Plus and Hulu, but I haven't watched them in forever. Well, actually, a week ago, I watched some documentary on Disney Plus about the space race because it was the anniversary of the moon landing. But aside from that, I never use it. But I have the package that includes ESPN Plus. So even though I couldn't get it fucking work today on my tablet, but whatever. Whatever, man. Didn't matter. Didn't matter too much then. But yeah, I'll check it out eventually. I still haven't seen Discovery Season 2. I need to do that. I did activate the CBS All Access, though, when Picard came out. I watched all of Picard. I've only seen Season 1 of Discovery. And haven't watched any of the Lower Deck stuff. So, I do need to check it out. But I am aware of it and what it is. So there's that. All right, we'll be getting a show and tell here soon. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Comic books, movies, pop culture, television, anything like that. But I'm having fun. I'm glad I jumped back into the Spawn stuff. To be honest, what happened was I got tired of reading digital. So I picked up some trades to cover some more. But I'm eventually going to have to jump back in digital in order to complete the run and read everything. But I've got this phone is almost as big as my tablet, and it's a tiny crap phone. I do not keep up with technology. Strickland's always on me. He's like, you need a better phone. You could make better posts and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But I don't know. I don't do that. If anything, we need a new fucking computer, right? Herminio, you know that here at the show, we love our conspiracies. You know this. But one conspiracy I will not ever agree with is the fake moon landing. Come on, man. I know you're kidding, right? I know you're kidding, right? If you don't think we landed on the moon, you ain't my homie. I'm just kidding. Thoughts on the NFL season? Will it run? Yes. I think the NFL's got a better shot than colleges. Colleges right now are going to be doing like just conference only. That's going to be interesting. See how it works out. They're going to want to do all of this. They're not going to want to lose that money. I think they're looking real heavy right now at the NHL, at MLS, MLB, and NBA. And I think out of everything I've seen, the NBA and the NHL seem to have it a little bit more on point. So we'll see. Herminio, you really don't think the moon landing happened? Bruh. Okay. You can believe that. That's fine. I believe some crazy shit too. You can believe that. I disagree wholeheartedly. Savagely, even. Maybe we'll bring it up on the next Teen Dog Shades night. Y'all remember last week Jim said that he would be on one with us, right? Dylan still wants to be on one, so we'll get one going soon. Aside from the solo ones, on the solo ones, I really like doing those. And on the next solo one, I plan on covering, what was it? Jesus. What was it? I think I was going to do something about the Bermuda Triangle. Herminio, we haven't been back. There's a whole lot of reasons for that, man. Herminio, we went to the moon. You know me, I believe some whacked out shit, but we went to the damn moon. Why you gotta derail me at the end of the show? Before we get to show and tell, you gotta derail. What are you doing? I thought we were Yankees homies. I'm just kidding. Now, it does bother me when people really get into the whole we didn't land on the moon thing. I don't know. It's because growing up in Huntsville, we got the space program here. We got the Huntsville Space and Rocket Center. Like, that's been something ingrained in me. So I just got like a lot of tied up shit about it. We'll agree to disagree, Herminio. But we'll talk about it. That's another one I really don't like is the flat earth shit. Flat earth shit is crazy. On the next Teen Dog Shades night, I might go off on the moon thing. But I think the Bermuda Triangle was one I was going to do. I was going to do some research on that. Bermuda. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's right. We didn't land on the moon. The moon landed on us. I'm just like Samuel there. Hell, I grew up in Houston. Don't tell me we didn't go to the moon. Just like Brooks says. Brooks is obviously from my area. Space is our thing, bro. It is. Without space, we would just literally be a hick podunk town. Okay. I've seen the arguments. I know all about it. That would have been a massive cover. That's just too massive. It's too big of a deal. It would be too big of a deal to get that many people wrapped up in a conspiracy like that. We went to the moon, and we stopped going because it wasn't a matter of national security. We never went to the moon based on scientific curiosity. I mean, that's why some people went to the moon, but that's not why America put billions and billions of billions and billions of dollars. Is because there was a strategic reason and advantage for it. Hey, don't forget, guys. This Friday night, we're covering all the Bourne movies. Here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Where's the goddamn flag and why was it waving in space? Yeah, I heard all that stuff. Flag's still there. Flag's still there. Why was it waving in space? It's called motion. It wasn't wind. But I get what you're saying. I know all that stuff. I'll do some research. We'll talk about it. We'll do a Teen Dog Shades night soon, and I'll debunk the conspiracy of that. Oh, yeah, Stanley Kubrick filmed it, right? And he admitted it in The Shining. Why was it waving in space? There's reasons. You know, it's nice to watch something to be convinced, be like, man, that was some pretty compelling evidence as to why we didn't. Watch some stuff as debunking it, and then make your mind up. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you have. I'm not trying to say what you did and what you haven't. So. Damn, Eric. Yeah, but they don't want to go back to the moon. It costs too much. Like, there's a whole lot of reason why we stopped going to the moon. There's a whole thing. Well, Hermania, you just inspired a segment on a future Teen Dog Shades night. I guarantee you. Zombie X Dance says, so excited for Headlopper to return next month. It returns next month. I need to get caught up then. Brooks reads Headlopper. I remember one day being like, Brooks, you got to read Headlopper. You're going to love this book. And he still does, I believe. Still read Birthright too, right, my man? I'm behind on both of those. Look at Brooks. Yeah, there he is, right on cue. Headlopper's coming back. I've only read the first book of Headlopper. I need to read, because they've done 2, right? The Earth is still really round, I believe. And why are there still monkeys? Because there are. Clever girl. That was so cool, Brooks. Wasn't it, going to the movie theater by ourselves, like having a whole movie together? That's a good... Maybe the moon is flat and we were never on Earth. And, here's the thing. That's one thing, that the moon landing is something I stick on, but you're right. Everybody's right. I got to go back to what I was taught by Robert Anton Wilson. Maybe logic. Whenever something comes up, you always just say, maybe. Maybe. So Herminio says we didn't go to the moon, and I go, maybe. But I think that maybe we went. Always got to keep yourself in the maybe zone. The maybe zone. Because when you get out of maybe, you get into yes and no, right and wrong. That's where all the problems seem to start boiling up. When people are convinced they're right or they're convinced somebody else is wrong. So my apologies, Herminio. Money will never stop the U.S. Herminio, bruh. The U.S. government only sent us to the moon so that we would have a strategic advantage against the communists in Russia. It was the Cold War. When we beat them, it was over. It was over. Plus, there was a lot of stuff going on in the late 60s in America. Just, look at history. Look at 1968 alone. But look how important Apollo 8 was to 1968 and how it kind of put one good thing in at the end of that year. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. And maybe we'll talk about it on a future Teen Dog Shades night. Oh, man, Zombie loves Ice Cream Man. Yeah, man, Ice Cream Man's one of my favorites. There's a Dr. Seuss-themed issue coming out this week that I'm very, very excited for. I've never met or chatted with W. Maxwell Prince, but apparently he's good friends with Dennis Camp, who was the writer of Maxwell's Demons. He's got some really exciting stuff coming up, and I consider Dennis a friend and a homie, and Dennis is a really cool guy, and he's friends with W. Maxwell Prince, and he is always telling me, just wait, you haven't seen nothing yet. And he's always right. He's always right. He told me that when the Ghost issue came out, that I would be blown away, and I was. So, yeah. If we never landed on the moon, then how do you explain the death rays on it? It'd be fun if we were doing Teen Dog Shades night tonight, but we're not. All right, we're about to get to show and tell. I'm going to be opening up some stuff and showing off some stuff. Not as much as we did last week, but still pretty fun. Darth Vader put the ray there? Maybe. All right. First of all, I shared this on Friday night when we had this big, long discussion about exclusive adult toys. Exclusive toys. And I should cut that out into its own video. But speaking of exclusive toys, there's a black Dino Charge Ranger that I got, Target exclusive. Mike the Voice Matthews hooked me up with this through his friend Jordan, our friend Jordan. They were on the lookout for me, and they got it, and they hooked me up. They hooked me up. But we're not opening that tonight. But I did just get a brand new one. I bought this yesterday. Bam! Blue Ranger Billy, everybody. Look at that dopeness. We'll be opening this one up soon, but not tonight. I do want to point out his doofy-ass Billy face, though. Look at that. Look at that. What the hell's going on there? But yeah. Got the Blue Ranger. Now we just need a regular Black Ranger and we'll have all of the Mighty Morphin. But the one I am opening up... Yeah, How to Be a Ghost was great. The one I am opening up tonight is another exclusive, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. It's Psycho Green. This figure allegedly was going for over $100 like a week or two ago. Damn. But we're going to open it up tonight. Because I promised everybody who made it through to the post-credits last week that I bitched about this and then we opened it up. But I finally got it in the mail. And I don't care. I'm opening it. I don't care how expensive it is. Still haven't opened that Lord Draken. It's right there. We'll open it, though. So let's do this. Let's do this. The Psycho Rangers have some of the coolest designs, I think, out of all the Power Ranger costumes. There we go. Bloop. It's open. Just drove it off the lot. It decreased in value automatically. But I love the designs on these figures. Let's pull him out. Let's get his knife. There he is right there. This was an exclusive to Hasbro Pulse. They've released the Red Psycho Ranger in a 2-pack. And they released Blue. Both of those were exclusives, I think, to GameStop. Or at least I know the Psycho Blue was a GameStop exclusive. This was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. There is an Amazon exclusive box set that's going to have Psycho Red. What the fuck? Okay, luckily I can just pop that back in. Y'all, I really thought I just broke this fucking figure. The fuck? There we go. Jesus. All right. Oh, what great figures, first of all. Hasbro doing the... Man, I'm just not going to bend the damn legs. How about that? But I do want to put the knife in there. So anyway, they're doing an Amazon exclusive box set with red, blue, pink, yellow, and black. It's the only way to get yellow, black, and pink. So, of course, I got to double dip a little bit, but maybe I'll just sell my loose ones. I can't seem to get the damn... Whatever. Let's just look at the figure. What a great figure. This character was introduced in the Shattered Grid run, I think. Wasn't from the show. This is not going to be in that box set, so the only way, allegedly, to get this is through the Hasbro Pulse site, which sold out. I pre-ordered this months ago and finally got it this week, and now it's open, and I'm very excited to have it. But those are great costumes. They're villains. Psycho Rangers are. And yes, it is my favorite color. So I'm very pleased to have this. Somewhere behind me, I don't think you can really see them, but there's the other two. And I'm getting the box set too, so. Can I get the damn knife in? The knife is great. Hasbro's done a great job with their toys lately. The only problem is so many damn exclusives, whether you're into Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, Transformers. I'm really pissed because we missed the Transformers Thundercracker and Skywarp box set. Now it's going up in price. All right, well, maybe by Friday when we do the video, I'll have the knife in his hand. But yeah, pretty dope figure. It's literally the same figure as the other two. They even have the same energy crackle right there, but damn, that looks so good. Like Emperor Palpatine shit. Look at that. God, it's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Anyway, that's that. And that's all we have for show and tell, really. And like I said, I got the bombs for the thing. What's the best Power Rangers run to pick up? The current one. You can read all of the Boom Power Ranger books. They're really good. They keep getting better. Into Shattered Grid. And then Beyond the Grid's okay. It gets weak there. Go-Go Power Rangers, though, is the best. Go-Go Power Rangers, to me, is the best. And when whatever's written by Ryan Parrott, he eventually took over Mighty Morphin after Shattered Grid and Beyond the Grid with Necessary Evil. And I would 100% say that Ryan Parrott's Power Rangers books are the best Power Ranger books. So if you just want to pick up one, I would recommend Go-Go Power Rangers. And then go from there. Screw the boxes. Toys are meant to be played with. We agree. Most of us agree here in the PCP Army. Yeah, I thought I broke it too. And luckily, it just popped off. I really want to get this damn knife in his hand. Strickland's already opened his. Strickland was like, I'm just going to get Mighty Morphin and Zeo. And then the fool bought this. And he got the damn Dino Charge. I'm like, you don't even know anything about Dino Charge. Now, granted, me neither. I've never watched Dino Charge at all. But I've watched all of Koyager, which is what this is based on. Super Sentai is more my jam now. I grew up a Power Rangers fan. Didn't grow up a Power Rangers fan. I became a Power Rangers fan when Power Rangers debuted. Then I went out of it for a while. Got back into it around Samurai. And then I wanted to get caught up on Sentai. I wanted to know what was coming. So I started watching Super Sentai. And I watched Shinkanger and Ghost Sager and Gokaiger and then Go Busters, and I just kept going. And I am a couple of seasons behind now. I haven't really been able to delve in too much time to it. But Super Sentai is the shit, and that's what's fueled this shit even further. I'm a big Power Rangers Super Sentai fan. I got Zords. I got figures. These figures are great. Hasbro's done a great job with these figures. They've done a shit job with their Zords so far. But we'll see if they can turn that around. What about Beetleborgs? Big bad Beetleborgs. I love Beetleborgs. Wasn't that Super Metallics Heroes or whatever, something like that? Or Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Beetleborgs I thought was okay. I liked it. I liked the monster aspect of it and the Jay Leno ghost. VR Troopers, though. I loved VR Troopers. And I even have some old school VR Troopers toys that I'll have to pull out and show off again one day. Really good stuff. Good night, Comic Book Therapy. We're about to wrap up here as well. Can I get this damn... Did it. Did it. Did it. The knife is in the hand. The blade makes it work. Don't want to break it. Yeah, look at that. Anyway. Yeah, let's just place him right there. There we go. Psycho Green. And we got two more here that we'll be opening one day. I got the Zeo Gold right over there, and we still got Lord Draken right there that we'll be opening. So maybe one a week from this point forward, we'll open up some Power Rangers. I still got Time Force Red to get to. Trooper Transform, Brooks says, do you recommend Power Rangers comics for someone that didn't love the shows? Yes, I would. I would recommend Go-Go Power Rangers and the very necessary stuff. I'm more curious into knowing how someone who wasn't into Power Rangers likes the books. I've heard some people say that it's really only good for people that like the show, and I've heard people say the opposite. I think it would be the opposite. I think it's one of the best superhero books of recent years, I should say. But you never know. But I do recommend it. I recommend the hell out of it. All right. It's time for the final 9. We had the first 6. Now it's time for the final 9. We're still going through the Marvel Universe Trading Cards Series 1. And first up, we got our third Wolverine card. And it's the Patch Wolverine. Love this Wolverine. And it even says, first appearance as Patch. Marvel Comics presents number 10. Did you know Wolverine's healing factor slows his aging? He is already over 80 years old. Did you know that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So there he's that. Then we have Nightcrawler, She-Hulk. We're still on superheroes. There was a lot of cards in this set. Card 40 is Captain Britain. Trying to get it to focus a little bit. Anyway, there we've got Rogue in her 1990 gear. Iron Man. The early 90s Iron Man is absolutely one of my absolute favorite Iron Man costumes. There's Susan. We've now had all 4 of the Fantastic Four represented in the card set. Remember how we had the Captain America motorcycle earlier? Well, before we even get a Punisher card in this line, we get a card for the Punisher van. Literally, it's a card for the Punisher battle van. And did you know? The Punisher's friend, the technical wizard known as Microchip, designed the weaponry and armor in the Punisher's van. Did you know that? Because I did. I really did. And the final card tonight, we end on a dud. It's Longshot. People still cared about him in 1990 for some damn reason. Anyway, so there you go. The final 9. That was 15 more cards to look at. We've looked at 45 of them. We still have more to do. So join us next week on Rockin Robbie Live. We'll be looking at more of these cards. Yeah, I got the full set too. Great stuff. I have the first 4 because I really like Series 4. The one where they all made an image every 9 cards. Great stuff, great stuff. Bruce says, hey, you need to have Bueller actually on live for 30 minutes and pick a topic to discuss maybe after the first break like on his coffee show. We've had Bueller on the channel before. Twice. One for a Teen Dog Shades night with Perry, and then one time just me and him having a conversation. And I'm because sports are back, I'm trying to try not to do as many live streams as we were, because the Rockin Robbie Live widths are good, and I have a lot of fun chatting with other YouTubers and comic book creators. We're having a lot of fun. We got other ones lined up. And damn, we've even had Hollywood screenwriters. We had Chris Matheson on the show, y'all. Co-writer and co-creator of the Bill and Ted franchise. What a crazy, awesome show that was. That was a dream come true. But we got more planned, and some of those guys who were in, like, basically season 1, if you want to call it that, will be coming back, including Bueller. I definitely want to have another, and I don't think 30 minutes is enough. I want to do a 2-3 hour live stream with Bueller, just me and him, talking about comics, life, pop culture, and more. It'll happen soon. Yeah, I don't bring guests onto this show. This is my solo show. But there are Rockin Robbie, like if you go to our homepage here on Facebook, if you find the playlist Rockin Robbie Live, you'll see all the Rockin Robbie Lives I do with other people, including the Teen Dog Shades nights. Let's see. I don't read high schoolers or kids, no matter how good. I am 63. Okay. Weird stretch. I make my own cards, download from the internet, cut out Previews magazine. That works too. Yeah, we used to actually cut out things from Previews magazines and then laminate them onto a lighter, so everybody would have their own lighter of whatever they wanted. So that was really, really cool. Yeah, adding the stat grids was cool. I really like Series 3. Series 3 was the one that I remember being very, very fire. But 4 is my favorite. Just I love the idea of every 9 cards kind of makes a scene. But I love all of them, to be honest. But out of all of those even, I think the Marvel Masterpieces is the best. The first series. Second wave's pretty decent of Marvel Masterpieces, but I mean, I just love them all. What do I have here? Ugh. What is this one? Oh. So this, yeah, I talked about how much I love the Marvel Series 4 because every 9 cards made a whole scene. This is that Spider-Man line that I'm trying to still complete. I got most of the regular cards, but I love the hell out of these. Oh my God, I love these. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is like all Mark Bagley too, I think. Kinda. Oh. Yeah, dog. This is my favorite page of it too. Because it's got Venom and Carnage and Hobgoblin. 90s suave-ass Doc Ock. Yeah. Do I have any of the promos? Yeah, I got some. I don't know if I have them all. But I got those ones. Those were from the animated series or whatever. Or just, I don't know, they're cool. They're like clear. Oh, I have all 4 of the damn holos. I didn't realize that. I think I may have a full set here, y'all. There's the hologram ones. I don't know if you can really see them. They don't really pick up too well. But I have all 4. One is Carnage. Actually, Carnage, Spidey, Venom, and this one, sometimes these hologram cards will get like shot out. I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe they get hit with too much light, but like that one right there, like I can barely even in person see what that is. Maybe there's too much sun that's hit it or something. It's a Spider-Man. It says 2 of 4. But yeah, you ever had one do that at all? Just not even, yeah. So that one needs to be replaced for sure. But everything else looks good. Love those Spidey cards. Wish I still had mine. Yeah, those are great. Let me see if I can show you the difference. For instance, here's one that still kind of works. You can probably see this one a little bit better. No, not really. But you can see the difference right there. See how this one's even more bluish? And you can't see what, like that's Carnage. And you can kind of see it. Kinda. See it? But this one, nothing. Just barely a Spider-Man. You see it? Barely. Barely a Spider-Man. They kind of get blown up. I've blown out or something. I don't even know how to describe it. Anyway. That's Rockin Robbie Live, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do share if you haven't already. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, all that stuff and more. Let's throw the background out one more time. Join me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie, though I hardly post there. Join the PCP Army on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, follow Pop Culture Philosophers. You can follow us on Instagram. Join us over at patreon.com/PCP to help support the channel. Like David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Brian, Dee Dee, Bullseye, Dunlaney, HC, James, Jason, Javi, Jose, Josh, Lewis, Monmeat, Michael, Mikey, Nicholas, Robert, Sebastian, Timo, TJ, and William. Speaking of David Hatch, he just showed up. What's up, David? Welcome to the very end of the show. You are very late. Anyway, we're having a good time here. So I hope you had fun here tonight. I did too, even with all the struggles getting the streaming going. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. We'll catch you next time here on Rockin Robbie Live next Sunday night. But we got lots of excitement coming out this week, including, don't forget, Friday night, the conclusion of Action Fest with our look at all 5 Bourne movies. Jason Bourne, Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Legacy, and Jason Bourne. We'll be having a grand old time. Tuesday night, weekly comic book review. Thursday morning, top 10 comic books of the week. Friday night, the Jason Bourne stuff. And the next Sunday morning, weekly pop culture wrap up. And into Rockin Robbie Live. So we really do appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for rocking with us. Love. You know, I told y'all last week in the post-credits that even though I was pissed that the Psycho Green Ranger had gone up in price, I was still going to open it. And I did. I'm a man of my word. Just want y'all to know that. I appreciate y'all that stick around through these post-credits. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Go Yankees. All that jazz and more. I've got to replace this shitty-ass hologram card that's completely bogus and fucked up. So aside from that, it's fine. Hey, Eric, I know you couldn't see it, but trust me, that's a real card. I can see it. That's Carnage. Anyway, David said, I love the Bourne movies where Matt Damon plays a young Ben Affleck. You know, what's funny is this. Delaney's not going to be able to do the Bourne video with us. He says he's busy. And maybe it's just because of his association with Ben Affleck. I don't know. Who knows? We had a good time watching Jurassic Park today, though. If you ever get a... I'm sure they're doing it in other cities. You know, some theaters, they're struggling right now. So for a pretty low price, we were able to rent out the entire theater, and it was great. And we had a lot of fun. We watched Jurassic Park. We plan on doing it again, possibly if they're still doing it for Bill and Ted Face the Music, and even maybe Tenet. So we had a lot of fun, and I got to give a mad shout out to John Hammertime Holshoe. He paid for all of it himself, and I feel even bad because not only did I not buy his candy, he bought my candy. He bought me some Twizzlers. I feel bad, but it's okay. We'll make it up for good old John. I just wanted to let everybody know that John Hammertime Holshoe is a super cool stand-up guy. That concludes post-credits. You know, one other thing. So I got those Ghostbuster figures, the Kenner Classics, and I was planning on doing a whole video for that, and I just have not been able to find the time. So maybe we'll just do a live stream one night, maybe next week, maybe I'll open them all up. I don't know. I do want to open them up, though, and show them off to everybody and compare them to the original figures and all that kind of stuff. So just let me know in the comments what you think would be a better thing. Would you rather have a completely separate made edited video for it, or would you just like me to do it on a live stream? And yeah, you know, the end credits are never longer the end credits, but you never know. I want to keep everybody guessing here on the Rockin Robbie Lives, and we have been so accustomed to post-credit scenes that today, when Jurassic Park ended and the credits rolled, we all kind of felt weird getting up and leaving during the credits. Isn't that weird? It's just crazy. Y'all have a good one. Yeah. Ha, 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 yeah. I'm the crazy Joker man in the house. Can't you see me? I got a smile on my face. Do you understand and believe me? Love that Joker. He's the best crazy Joker man. Huh. He's the Joker man. Listen to the trumpet. Can you hear me? Understand? I'm the crazy Joker man. This song's got a lot of layers. Love that Joker. And where's the Bat? He's at home, washing his tights. Ha 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 ha.